How's it going?
Great.
You too. Welcome back to the Late Night Playset. My name is Jay Ryan. I will be your host this evening. It's America's favorite dining room talk show. Or yours anyway. Thanks for being with us this evening. It is Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. Our guest this evening is Mr. Mark Malkoff. Mark Malkoff is, he's a longtime friend of ours, but he also used to host the Carson podcast. He currently hosts Inside Late Night. He's a contributor at latenighter.com. He's a stand-up comedian. If you ever watch anything about late night or the history of late night, including the story of late night on CNN, he always seems to be there and pop up, and he's an expert on the subject. And he wrote the book that is coming out on October 21st called Love Johnny Carson. So I'm really excited to talk to him this evening. Top of show here. First of all, how are you? A lot of talking already. Let's do our deep breaths. Okay. I know. I just opened a Red Bull. I don't know if we need it. Maybe it'll work like Ritalin and settle me down a little bit. It's been a long day. I've been on the phone a lot lately, trying to make get life going again, make things happen, and until our producer Ariel walked into. Nope, you're right, Ariel. Hang on, I got it. I'm coming.
Speaking of producer Ariel, there she is. Hello, everyone.
Okay. There she is. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
And then someone's at the door. If we could just handle that too, because everything happens at once, of course.
That's how we roll.
But yeah, trying to get life going again. Life started. Oh, this is hilarious. I wish I had a camera for everything that's going on over here right now.
I'm dropping things, y'all. The producer's breaking stuff.
A producer from another show is answering the door. Our producer is dropping stuff on the floor. This is hilarious. But I'm excited to talk to Mark Malkoff tonight. That's the big deal, and it's going to be our last show for a little while. We've got, oh, Jesus Christ, where are we here? This is a nightmare. Thanks for being here for it. I'm going on the big USA Grand Tour 3 road trip starting next week. So this will be our last show for a while, so I'm glad it's a good one. Hi, David.
Hello, sir.
This is hilarious. No, it's good for right now. Wait till we get Mark on. But it's hilarious to me how off the rails things go right when you push the button.
Yeah. It was pretty chill in here before then. We were just hanging out.
Is this what you expected?
It kind of is.
Really?
I mean, because I've watched it so many times.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Oh, look at producer is also on camera 6 tonight. Very nice. And then I can hear shit going on outside. Are they having a party out there?
What is happening? I can go find out.
Is the door shut or is that through the wall? It could be through our backstage windows over here. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You hear it too, right?
There are children.
Oh, it's children. Oh, well, they got to be 16 if they want to come in here.
Imagine?
Or 18. Mark, did it used to be 16 or 18 to go see Dave?
It was 16 at NBC, and then I think they made it 18 at CBS at some point.
Okay. Yeah, to keep out people like
Kimmel
you and me.
18, I believe.
Oh my goodness.
Kimmel made sense because of they had drinking and all sorts of other stuff. Oh, that's 21.
Now, but yeah, I mean, but
I don't know
now.
Anything. I don't know anything. All right, so last show for a while, and then we got What's in the Box, even though there's not really a box.
What's in the box?
But because Ariel's here to say it, what's it called?
What's in the box?
There we go. Thank you very much. I got 2 things. One was a T-shirt that showed up from our good friend Danbury Chive on the East Coast.
Cute.
Check that out. Good vibes only. Love that. And then this one was from Frank, our buddy Frank. I forget what his handle is, but Frank Martin, ND.
Yeah.
Whatever. The Miata driver. He saw the post I put up the other day where Susie asked me if I could have another Porsche one day, what would it be? Any kind of Porsche. I said, oh gosh, one day I would love to get a 356 coupe. And Frank started that off by getting me a nice little 356 coupe of the Matchbox variety, and it was very sweet, and I really appreciate it. Thanks, Frank. We'll add it to the studio somewhere. In fact, tonight it'll be right here. There we go.
ND98_2K.
There you go. Thank you for that.
You got it.
And let's see, some folks are already joining in. Catherine Sutton is here. Speaking of 356 coupe, couldn't have timed that any better. And you saying hello. You're all over the place. How do I work less? How do you do some of this and I work less? I think that's it before we get our guest in here, right? I told you all about him. His my friend and yours, Mr. Mark Malkoff, coming to us live from New York City. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I believe so.
It's really good to see you, man. Thank you so much for doing the show. And more than that, thank you for having me on your Inside Late Night podcast. That was really, really fun for me. I
loved it. Oh, it was fascinating. I heard from so many people that had never heard that story before, and they were blown away by it. I mean, it was just it's so funny that our relationship started October 16th, 92. We were in the same audience at Letterman. We didn't know that. And then you called me when I worked at Letterman, and either it would have been 98 or 99. And then
this is amazing.
Later,
I love that you open with this. We have to hear some of this stuff. I mean, if as much of this that you want to retell, I would love for our audience to tell, because I never told them.
Sure.
I've never told our audience about me being a fake intern. I never told them that.
It was huge over at the show, over at Letterman. I mean, it was legendary that there was this guy that was a fake intern, and it took them weeks until they figured out he did not belong.
I feel like it's such a New York story. Like, I'll tell you what, my dad has bullshitted his way into so many situations because it's just the attitude. It's just, like, you go in, you do the thing, you own it.
Yeah. Well, I want to hear him tell it, though.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there was one point you called me for tickets at the show. I'm on the 8th floor of the Sullivan Theater. Yeah, because you told me about the microphone, and you told me about that's how I knew that it was you. You told me the microphone, and Dave gave you a jacket, and you said, "So what floor are you on?" I said the 8th floor, and you did the entire layout of the floor, like which employee was where, and I was like, "How does this guy know everything where everything is on?" And I was blown away by it, and then I'm not going to mention the person's name, but an HR internship coordinator afterwards.
Yeah.
I just mentioned I think maybe she overheard me talking about it, and she's like, "It's him! Don't get him ticket. He's a fake intern." And it took them weeks. I can't believe that it took them that long, and that you were able to infiltrate the show. I mean, it was one of those things where I can't imagine that happening now. But yes, it was folklore at the show.
I was telling our producer Gibson over here this story the other day, and it really was a couple weeks. And I told him the whole thing about how it started. I just happened to be in the deli with the jacket on in Rupert's Deli, and Rupert said, "Oh, are you the new intern?" And then all of the other people with pants jackets turned to look at me like, "Oh, who's the new intern?" And I just said, "Yes, I'm the new intern." "Oh, what's your name?" "Oh, I'm Jay." So I got my sandwich, and I was going to go outside and either eat it on the stoop or go to my car. And they all were going back into the Ed Sullivan Theater building, and they all said, "Aren't you coming with us?" And I was like, "Yes, of course I am." And I went past the security. Actually, they introduced me to Willis, the security guard at the time. They said, "Oh, this is Jay, the new intern." And then all of a sudden, now I can get into the building anytime I want. Oh my gosh, I don't recommend anybody do this. This is so embarrassing.
And so how long was it between when you were found out as a sneaky little non-intern intern and when you called Mark for tickets? Well, what was that timeline like?
It's got to be a couple. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't remember when this happened because I didn't plan for it to happen. This was after the microphone story, which was March of '96, and I remember that because it's when my dad died. So that's locked in my head the same week, or 2 weeks earlier. But the intern thing, I didn't plan for it to happen, and then it just kind of did. And You know what, Mark? I think I told you this. The only reason I even stopped doing it was because one day they used to do 2 shows one night a week, and we were going down in between the 2 shows, and Willis, the same security guard, said, "Hey, Jay, the person he didn't want to say their name before wants to see you in their office." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And I'm walking out with a bunch of people, and he said, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll do it when I come back in." And he goes, "Oh, okay, cool." And I went outside, and they all went. I think we were getting the pizzas for the pizza party, and they all went to like Angelo's or wherever the pizza came from. And I went to my car and I drove away.
And remind
so
me how old
embarrassing.
you were at this point?
Oh, I would have been like 19.
Yeah.
Right? 19, something like that, 20 maybe. I was 18 when my dad died, so I'm thinking it was probably a year after that or somewhere around there. But I was wearing, so this is the only reason I think it worked. I was wearing this Late Show jacket, which apparently was like the coveted special jacket. Is that true?
Yes. Oh,
Why
they were
was that
so
special?
they just were hard to get. I don't think they sold them at that point, and it was just Dave was the hottest thing in television. So I remember that December of '98 when I got my Worldwide Pants jacket. I couldn't believe it. As somebody, I was at Dave's first show at CBS. I went to the NBC show 5 times. I mean, I couldn't believe that I got one of those things. It was
well, but all the
huge.
interns had jackets, but mine was different. It had the Late Show across the back, and theirs all said Worldwide Pants or Ed Sullivan Theater or something different. So they all kept saying, "Well, where'd you get that jacket? You know, hey, new intern, where'd you get that jacket?" And I said, "Oh, Dave gave it to me when I gave him the old-fashioned microphone that's on his desk."
Very true. When you showed up to his home,
you know Dave? I must have painted my I didn't know the business as well as I do now. I must have painted myself as like a must-hire.
Oh, for sure.
As like, oh, that's
They
Dave's
existed
nephew.
every
Don't bother
show.
him. Let him do whatever he
a
wants.
connective power.
Yeah, something. It's very embarrassing.
Did
I'm
you
glad you're
ever
here.
get up to the 12th floor? I went up to 12 a few times when I had to a couple times, but that was Dave's floor. Did you ever go up there?
Yeah, because the staircase was on 11 and it just went up. But I don't think I was ever up there to do anything that I was supposed to do. Like the copy machine that we used was on the 11th floor over by that same stairwell. The ticket office, I think I told you I stuffed envelopes. I did that. I would help them set up for the pizza parties. But that's kind of the only official intern stuff I do. Otherwise, I would break off and go like find somebody. Like in the theater, even the interns aren't really supposed to be in the theater. It's kind of an office building and a thing. This is turning into you interviewing me again. Why am I talking so much?
No, this is great.
So I'd like find Miles, the spotlight operator, and I'd hang out with him for the day, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm the new intern. Here's my jacket. I gave Dave the microphone. What do you do?" And then I'd hang out with them for the day, and they'd show me how to operate all this equipment and whatever. And I did that, a half dozen times in 2 weeks. I cannot believe we're talking about this.
So
No,
what
it's
were the
all
rumors
true.
That you heard?
Yeah.
Like, what's your side of this?
Oh, my side was just that there was this guy that just beat the system. He was able to penetrate CBS, the brass. I mean, it was not an easy thing to do and to fool everybody.
No.
And I was told under no circumstances should I give this gentleman tickets, but I did anyway. I was like,
and
this
it's
seems
funny.
nice.
I never remember going to the show again, so I think I was getting other people tickets, like relatives or whatever.
It easily could be, but it was one of those things when you told me that you showed up to Dave's home unannounced to give him a microphone. That was a detail that I held in my head for decades until we talked, and then I put it everything together, and then I asked you about that story, and you said, "Yeah, that was me," and I was like, "We're reunited."
It's pretty crazy. I feel like it is crazy. It's crazy. I'm embarrassed.
Oh
about
man,
all
the
of
whole story of you taking the mic and getting the mic and just everything, and it's epic.
Look at me now.
That was really good. Yes. That episode of Inside Late Night, I absolutely loved, and I was so glad you got to do it. And I know people. I mean, it's your story. I mean, come to life. I just try to get out of your way. I mean, but yeah, you did. You were there.
This is. I can't believe I can't believe we opened with this. I thought we'd maybe get to it at some point, and then I'd be embarrassed. But here we are, 5:17.
No, this is the juicy part.
Dave was our Mickey Mantle. It was like Yankee Stadium for us. I mean, all my friends growing up, they will be, it's all about, I grew up in Hershey, Pennsylvania most of my life, and it's all about the 76ers and the Phillies. And for me, it was like, NBC was and Dave and comedians like Carson. And that's, so such a big deal for us.
I just told our crew before the show that the first night that we didn't meet, but we were in the same 200-person studio audience together in 6A, you were wearing the Hershey, Pennsylvania hat.
Cute.
The tinfoil hat.
The Kiss hat. I gave the hat to Dave in the pre-show Q&A. My friend Chad Carr and I, this is Friday, October 16th, 1992, but who's counting? First time I was ever in that studio. It was like one of the most exciting days of my life.
Yep.
And we were hoping that, how Hal would sometimes cut to the audience for shots that we might get on television. And then we were told when we were waiting up on the 7th floor, and Rose, Dave's assistant, Lori Diamond, went around and said hi to everybody. We were told that Dave might take questions during the before when he comes out. So I was like, okay, I have a question prepared. And I raised my hand to ask a question, and Dave just said, the man with the aluminum foil hat, and just started doing banter with me. And said, is that for me? And I was like, okay, sure. And I gave it to him. And he just made fun of me the whole time and got lots of laughs. I was just like, wearing jeans. Thank you for dressing up. The youth of America, stuff like that. But that was amazing. That it was Jeff Goldblum, Screaming Trees.
And a chef.
Male.
There was a chef too.
Daniel Ballou.
Daniel Ballou, yeah. It was a transformative evening for me. I had never seen the show before either.
Oh my goodness, it blew me away when the music kicked in during Dave's warm up at the very end. There's never, goosebumps.
Yeah. Why? What the hell was it about? I grew up in Connecticut, in the same damn town that Dave lived. Why was it so special to both of us, and so many others?
It's like this world that didn't exist. I felt like the first time I saw the show, what Dave was doing, and it felt like I was inside like a private club or something. It was, but just to be there and feel that energy of like-minded people in one room in this small, intimate setting, because it's tiny. He's literally, for the warm-up, right in front of you. The band, is so loud. It's freezing. Just everything about it, just all the senses. That was one of the most exciting days ever.
You're nailing it. I think the energy in that room couldn't be contained, and it was not replicatable in the Ed Sullivan Theater for me, even though it was still something.
No, other than the very first taping when I was there for show 1, that was pretty rabid. Oh my goodness, when he came out for his warm-up, unprompted, all of us on our feet, Dave, and Letterman just the stress melting and said, this is the best part of my day by far, and it meant so much. But that was a media frenzy. It was just all the satellite trucks outside, and it was just such a coveted ticket. But other than that, I think you're right that I don't think it was ever replicated in the Sullivan by any means. Yeah.
Was Dave your first guy? You hosted the Carson podcast for so long. Were you Carson first, or was it Dave and then you found Carson?
My dad got me into Carson. I was watching Carson when I was 5-6 years old, staying up on Fridays and watching the clip shows, the anniversary show, primetime shows that they would do. So, he was just so likable, and I didn't know anything else because I would go to bed early. I could barely make it through a half hour of Carson on a Friday night as a kid.
Yeah.
But the Letterman thing, once I saw it, I couldn't believe that that you could do a show like that, and it didn't make any sense. And I'd never seen anything like what he was doing. He basically took some Steve Allen stuff. He's given him attribution and just took it to the 9th level. There was just something about him. And I still think Johnny was the best host, but I think Dave was the funniest host. I really think that NBC show is the funniest 11 and a half years of any late night and out of any of the shows. I feel like it holds up probably the best.
Wow, do I agree with that statement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard anyone else say it so succinctly, but I totally agree with you.
I always felt like I was biased because I'm a New Yorker. So like Dave is always like our person in our city, but having the context now of having had so many late night hosts since then, now you can really see what the difference is. And also having the context that what he was doing was not done before.
Well, you worked at Kimmel too, so you saw somebody who was totally inspired by Dave.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And what a joy. Like working in late night, there's nothing like it. Like really.
Yeah, I know. My first job was in late night, and then really nothing since.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. hence this.
Mark, what were you doing on the show? What was your role? How did you get started with the show?
Oh, at Letterman?
Yeah.
Oh, I was in the audience department on the 8th floor. I wasn't a page. People would call up for tickets, and sometimes they'd make me wear just a suit. I wasn't like a CBS uniform, just my own, and I would talk to the audience maybe before the show. Some people in line just to try to get them pumped up. But that was about it. I got there because I was an intern at Spin City, which was Michael J. Fox.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was hired in audience, so I had audience experience. And it was just I met some people I went over to, it was a friend of a friend that said that, do you remember Al Franken had a sitcom?
Sure.
Late
Yeah.
Line?
Late Line.
It was a Kaufman Astoria. So I went over there, and they were going to maybe have me do part-time. And they said, if there's nothing that opens up, there's another show that I might have a job for you. And it turned out to be Letterman. And it was like, I was hanging outside outside the theater waiting for George Carlin when I was a teenager.
Holy cow.
I was like on that side, like, what is behind that door? There was no exposing what went on behind the scenes, what it looked like. It was just this giant mystery, and I love that mystique because it doesn't exist anymore. It really doesn't.
No, but I agree with you again.
Be at that guy by the barriers and meeting whoever, George Carlin or whoever it is, and then suddenly I have the badge, and I'm backstage, and they're like, Mark, relax, you belong. And I said, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And
I'm not sneaking in.
Yeah.
I know what you mean about you didn't know what was on the other side of the door until that night where I accidentally found out what was on the other side of the door.
The whole airlock, the dressing rooms, just everything. Just to be there was it was super surreal. And I'm glad I could be there. I was there for the last time they ever did an anniversary show, the 5th. I was glad. Cool. And I think it was the last time Dave actually showed up to his own Christmas party, the holiday party. I was there, but we knew not to go up to him. We were basically, it was understood not to go up to him.
Progmont wants to know where you sat for the first CBS broadcast.
Oh, second row. If you're facing the stage, right, the very far right.
So over by Lori Diamond. Or the
where
announcer.
Lori would have been. Yeah. Where Bill Wendell was.
Bill Wendell at that time, yeah.
Yeah, Bill threatened to kick out somebody from the audience when Dave talks about, he mentions Ringo Starr. He says Ringo, and then I don't know if the guy was drunk or whatever. He yells out Ringo, and Bill Wendell says, if you ever do that again, you are out of here. And I was like, don't mess with Wendell.
Don Giller is here this evening and says, I once gave him a Late Show ID badge. Now, that is true because I took a bunch. Remember the red Late Show badges? I took a handful.
I still have mine.
Because I was, so do I. Mine's hanging right there in the kitchen.
You took a bunch of them?
Yeah, well, they were blanks. And then so I filled them out with and gave them to friends. Oh, thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I have. It's on my
have
Instagram. Yeah, I still have it, yeah.
The J. Ryan's faded, but it's still kind of there.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to get into all this stuff, but there's also a guy here tonight who is a friend of mine from the car community, and I know that doesn't mean much to... Wow, sorry about this. Hal, what's going on, Hal? But the thing is, he's a huge Letterman fan, huge Carson fan, and more than that, he's a huge Mark Malkoff fan. Listen to every episode of the Carson podcast.
My mom? It's my dad?
No, David Steele. Do you want to come in here, David?
Sure. Yeah.
We'll do this. Give some interlude. Wow. Have a seat in one of the old Letterman chairs here.
There's an actual mug.
There's an
here,
actual mug.
Oh,
for
that's
you.
mine.
You know, I'm going to put this.
Yeah.
But there's
Sure, I
plenty
can
of
take it
extra
for
ones.
you.
We can give you a mug of water
You do
if we
whatever
want.
makes you happy.
from the green room, which I did.
That's right. I haven't seen you in a long time, but the first time I ever met you, you said, I can't believe you have the Letterman set. I'm such a big fan.
Which is true. I still can't get over it, and I have to say, as I've been back here kind of admiring, levels.
Yeah.
As I've kind of been admiring all this and watching the show, are these the chairs?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Chris Farley tumbled. I've broken your equipment after doing cartwheels and everything.
All right, so
and Sean Connery. You name us. Actually, when this was the first stuff from CBS, so the show was huge, tons of viewership, and they had the biggest freaking stars, Madonna. So like everybody who's anybody was in those chairs.
All right. Well, now this is I'm gonna start off with something that's probably kind of creepy, but
Okay.
I couldn't help it because I spotted the chairs and I thought, that's got to be those. These are the chairs.
Yeah.
And what I immediately thought of, do you remember the night Charles Grodin was on and he was talking to Dave and he just started doing this?
I do remember that. Yeah.
And Dave,
a fellow Wiltonian,
and
by
Dave,
the way.
oh, there you go.
Yeah. He lived in our town too. We were all neighbors.
He really got Dave's attention with that, and Dave kind of leaned in and said, "Is everything going to be okay with you, Charles? Do we need to fill a prescription?" I think is what he said. And Grodin had no idea what he was talking about, and just kept going. It was like a nervous, ticky kind of thing that was going on.
You wasn't messing with him?
You think? Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. With Grodin, you never know.
Yeah.
His
Carson appearances were always my favorite because of that fake animosity.
Yes, which he famously worked on his appearances quite a bit. So maybe the thing with the chairs was but yeah, I mean, you guys are operating at a very high level. I'm just kind of swimming in your wake. But
okay.
I will say, yeah, I mean, it's so fun to hear you guys talk. And hello, Mark, by the way.
Hi. Nice
You
to
are
see
doing the Lord's work, man. I've been
thank
following you
you.
for so long. Pre-ordered your book
Oh, wow.
the other day.
Oh, thank you
so
so
I'm
much
looking
for
forward to
doing
that.
that. I
No, of
appreciate
course.
That. Yeah, that means a lot.
But
Not sure.
yeah, it's funny. I mean, I'm old. I'm about to be 56, so I'm very much NBC Letterman. Although obviously I enjoyed and watched CBS era, but I have such a kind of funny. My kind of introduction to him was unusual because I was living in upstate New York. I'm from Buffalo.
Oh.
And I was homesick from school one day and caught the morning. Mark, was it called the morning event?
I thought it was just called the David Letterman Show.
Okay.
The morning
yeah.
show?
Yeah,
the
morning
morning
yeah.
show.
Yeah.
I think it was the David Letterman show, but they all refer
Okay.
to it as the morning show.
Okay.
The morning show, yeah.
There you go. I mean, it was a long time ago, and I was legitimately sick, so I was in my kind of fever state. But I remember watching that and thinking, that's the most interesting. I mean, even at that age, I was such a comedy nerd already, and a Carson fanatic. And I just thought, this is a whole new kind of attitude and approach. And that so stuck with me. And then, as luck would have it, my father, a GM factory worker there in Buffalo, was transferred to Southern Indiana. So then we get to Indiana, and I start seeing these ads on TV that there's going to be this new late night show. And the talk in kind of local press was, our former weatherman has really made it. He's going to have this show after Johnny Carson. And, I was still,
You were
whatever.
literally watching Dave's affiliate, like whatever Dave's channel used to be?
Well,
or were they speaking for all of Indiana?
They were speaking for Indiana and saying this, we may all remember this guy used to be our weatherman, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And so I had this kind of like funny, I wasn't sure if is this like a regional show or something, because it was so Indiana centric, at least that with the way it was framed and pitched in Indiana.
Right.
So by the time it came on, which I am proud to say, I stayed up and watched that as the broadcast aired. I watched Mr. Wizard and Bill Murray and all of it.
No kidding.
And taped it and sat there watching the VCR, which we just got a VCR. It was kind of when Beta went away and VHS came in.
Mark, help me. Was it Brother Theodore who opened that show? I can't remember.
I
who
thought
did
it was Calvert DeForest.
It
Oh,
was.
you're right. But you're
It
right.
was.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. But reading, what was it, Nosferatu?
It was something like that. Quick trivia. Do you know who was? There was one famous person in the audience. I don't know if you know who that was. That wasn't acknowledged.
In the first episode?
Yeah.
I don't.
Boy.
This
really
is a
getting
good one.
down to
I
it.
know.
This is
I'm excited. This is fun.
Oh man.
I don't
It was
know.
a friend of it was Harry Shearer was in the audience. He was Paul's friend, and he was there. And, yeah.
Wow.
He was with
All right.
Tom Leopold. I don't know if you know Tom. Tom's a great guy. I've known him for a long time.
Writer, right?
They were, yeah, and one of Paul's best friends. So they were there, and I was so envious that they got to go to show number 1 of the February 1st, '82.
I mean, that Bill Murray Let's Get Physical is epic to me.
It's
Doing
just
a great
a
episode.
the new Olivia Newton-John tune.
Yes.
Give me a break. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then, how did you find the Carson podcast? And you were a fan of that for a while, I guess, right? The whole time?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just being a comedy nerd, I mean, the algorithm catches up with you.
Yeah, that's true.
And things end up in your feed. And I have to say, I mean, I'm very fortunate. I've been in the music business for 30 years, and I got to perform on the shows. I performed on Jay's Tonight Show many times, and the Letterman Show a few times.
Oh, cool.
That's nice.
And
I don't know if I knew that, man. I don't know if that ever came up in any of our conversations. That's very cool.
That's fantastic.
really, I am just another guy with a Porsche at the end of the day. But
a lot of other cars do.
Well, a couple other cars, but yellow Porsches. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
It's really hard to beat.
We got yellow car 111. This is yellow car 911 over here.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys like to stand out.
Yeah, they're bright, aren't they?
They're delightful.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
But yeah, I loved. I'm sorry, I keep stepping on you.
No, it's me.
No,
it's the Red Bull.
It always excited me, Mark, the Carson podcast, because what always fascinated me about being on the show as a performer was you're seeing the cast, the behind the scenes cast. You're seeing the crew, and you're seeing these people whose names you just saw in the closing credits, and now they're real people. And you're seeing them on the show, and then fast forward to Mark's wonderful podcast, the Carson podcast, and you get to hear their voices and their stories, and that knocked me out. I love that stuff. I can't get enough of that stuff. So,
that's so nice to hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you into the Inside Late Night?
Yeah, we're great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I love all the Carson stuff, but obviously, generationally speaking, there's a lot of other stuff he can cover now.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's
a little broader of that topic.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with me. Like, I know a lot about Saturday Night Live, probably as much about Johnny Carson, maybe a little less, but it's still pretty bad, the nerdiness. So it's nice to have an outlet to use that.
I'm actually glad you brought it. Switching subjects just for a second, I'm glad you brought up SNL because when we were doing in fact, this is how this all comes around. The producer who is here with us this evening, Gibson, I met because he was doing this documentary series up at the Goonies house, the Goonie Restoration House. Now, obviously, the person who is heading up the production company is Adam F. Goldberg, who is somebody that Mark has known for a very, very long time, right?
That's right.
How do you guys know each other?
We went to NYU together, but I don't think we met until after graduation. We collaborated for a little bit on a sketch comedy show, and we were friends. And then he moved to LA, and we would email once in a while, but
he still speaks very highly of you, just so you know.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I haven't seen him in forever. I don't even remember, but very successful, and he loves the 80s.
He sure does. I'll say he does. I was telling him about this little show that we do in our dining room right around he lives not far from here. And I was explaining that we have the original Letterman set. He goes, "Oh, I've got to come." He collects movie props and TV props and stuff like that. So he's like, "I've got to come check that out. But hang on, I've got to bring a friend with me." He goes, "Do you know Mark Malkoff?" And I said, "Yeah, Mark's done the show. I've done his show. Of course I know Mark Malkoff." And then so that went away. But Mark, he told me that similar to my Letterman stories of sneaking in, that you have a similar SNL story. Is there any truth to that?
I can't talk about it now, but there's so much drama. I'm working on possibly doing something with it, but the thing that I will say is that I was pen pals with a lot of the cast members starting when I was 14, and I have the letters. I have answer machine messages from cast members. I was going to the show. I did sneak into the show, I got into a lot of trouble at one point. And and I still, up until like a year or two ago, still had recurring nightmares about it. And this was almost, I don't want to date myself, but it was a long time ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I didn't mean to bring up
it was amazing to be there. No, it's all good. Like, it was amazing to be there, and I can laugh about it now, and it's all good. I've been over to the show and many times and visited people, and yeah, this was decades ago. I mean, this was the 90s when it all stuff happened. But yeah, it was definitely. I got to see, Phil Hartman. I got to see Farley and all of them and meet them and watch them perform, and yeah, it was a great time.
So it's funny, you talk about it was hard to sneak into Letterman at the Ed Sullivan Theater. I mean, I guess it was. It happened to be very easy for me because I wasn't trying to do it. But I can't even imagine sneaking into 30 Rock in that way because there are so many different levels of security and crazy maze-like hallways that I just... You must have known what you were doing because I don't...
I knew just from going to the show and camping out for tickets, I had a strategy that worked for a while, and that got me into the show. But I don't think I would have been able to sneak in without knowing. There were a bunch of different ticket lines, and I kind of knew what to say and what to who to name drop that I did not know, and wear a suit sometimes, which helped my, because I looked like I was, I was a teenager. But so yeah, there was definitely a lot of excitement, but it went south eventually.
When you talk about the recurring nightmares, I think, and
yes.
just the way that just where you went emotionally for a few minutes ago, that is how I felt before. We tell this microphone story now, and it's kind of a joke because it's out there now. But before it was out there, it was like the most uncomfortable, shameful thing that I had in my brain. So I really relate to what you were talking about like recurring nightmares and just constant grief in your own head, conscience-wise. Your conscience.
You pulled it off. I had, my whole thing was security guard person, and I mean, I was at NYU when I knew this guy. I'm not going to mention his name. Why would I? But he had gone to a Conan taping, and instead of leaving with the audience because the pages, I'll take them down, he went up to would have been the 9th floor. He just took an elevator to the 9th floor and went with his guest and went to overlook Saturday Night Live on the 9th floor. And an NBC security person asked for his ID, and he's like, "Oh, we just went to see Conan and all this." And he had to spend like 2 hours, and they took him to the security room. They had to take photos, like with they put them on the security wall, because if you're waiting to see Letterman or any of the shows, you'll see all these people's photos in the security booth, and they're all, I guess, people that got busted for sneaking in or whatever. But
I don't think I ever knew that's what it was about. But the 7th floor, it used to be back in the day that there was this glass little fishbowl security office.
That's what it was.
At the elevator
you would see
bank.
These people's photos up, and they looked like people you probably wouldn't want to associate with.
And you.
And that.
Or the other guy. The other guy.
Oh gosh.
Wow. Well, see, I'm so grateful I never got put on a list or anything. Well, that I know of. They never got my photo.
You just had a lot of lore around you.
You know what's amazing about all of that? I still can't believe nobody ever called me to be like, "Oh, you gave him the microphone. Why don't you give back his microphone instead?"
Yeah.
Because I know I was on security, like a camera. I mean, that whole place was.
Sure.
You never took anything, did you?
You pulled it off.
You were a sweet kid,
From SNL? No.
From
I
anywhere.
wish that I had something. No.
Yeah. No, you're better than me.
I don't think so. Not that I can remember. No, I was by the books on that.
I should say I didn't go there to take this. It just happened when I couldn't find it. It wasn't on the new desk in the new set in the theater. And then after an hour or two of wandering around with nobody else there in the middle of the night, I ended up finding it in the basement. And I was like, "Why isn't it on the desk? I'll just put it in my pockets and leave. Ugh, even just saying it now. Who makes that choice?
Funny.
Who makes that decision?
The best story. You go into Dave's house and unannounced.
I always have to tell people. I go, they
all
can
of
say,
that.
"Oh wow, you got let in and you took the microphone. That's an amazing story." I go, "It hasn't gotten good yet.
Yeah.
You have no idea."
Yeah.
Wait till you hear what I did next.
More.
Do you remember, Mark? Do you remember? All right, going back to just because we're unpacking it here tonight, and I'll now shift the blame more over to me than you because I feel like I embarrassed you enough. Do you remember when I took this? Do you remember like? You watched every episode, I'm sure, like I did. Do you remember that week of the new set?
I just remember Dave said something. He made.
Oh yeah. You want to know what he said? May I?
Yeah, sure.
I've noticed two problems with the new set.
What?
Well, one, this microphone is higher than it needs to be.
Now, what's that about?
Well, it's because the other microphone, the one that's been on the desk for 2.5 years here and 13.5 years at NBC, last night that was stolen.
You're kidding.
Now, that was stolen. So.
Yeah.
So funny.
That's when little Jay at home sinks down into the couch, going, "Oh, I knew it."
He was a creature of habit. I mean, Dave. Everything had to be the same. Every day. He was very superstitious, like an athlete. So it threw him.
I don't think I knew that before this.
I wouldn't think that it would have thrown him either. But until I worked at the show, and then I was like, oh, dear goodness. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Do we have someone else here as well? Oh, look who else is here. Wanted to say hello to you, Mark.
Hey.
Hey, listen. I had Tim Kennedy, who was the technical director on the show.
Can barely hear you, Mike.
He was still butthurt about it, and it was like 20 years later. So it ran deep.
Ugh, thanks for that.
But
thanks for stopping by.
Now.
We can barely hear you, buddy.
It's nice to see you. Hi, everybody. Sorry for dropping in.
Apparently, you can't hear us either.
Get this book.
Oh, wow.
Get this book.
Oh, thank you.
Good. You must.
How did he get an advance copy?
I
We
was
can't
gonna
hear
say.
him, but up in Canada, his video is very good.
Did you
can't
not
hear me
get a
both?
copy, Jay?
Barely.
Well, no, I haven't. I mean, it hasn't come out yet, right?
I thought I got you like an advanced type thing. It's not the real book, but I thought I sent you something. Did I not?
I haven't received it. If you did,
We're gonna
otherwise
figure
I'd
it
have
out. We'll
right
make
here.
it happen.
Okay, thanks.
We'll make it happen.
I mean, I'd also
Yeah.
love to support you.
Oh,
I'll take an
thanks. No,
advance
I
copy.
appreciate that. I think I have something somewhere. But yeah, it's one of those things. It comes out in 2 weeks from today.
Yay!
Thank
So,
you.
I think I
Please,
could-
everybody, make me happy. Please help me.
You're going to be a New York Times bestseller.
Very
I can tell
scared.
it.
It's gonna be
Oh
amazing. I
gosh,
can't
that's
wait to
nice.
read it.
I'm terrified.
Why?
I feel a big weight. I feel like I have to high expectations from people that know my work with Johnny Carson. I just wanted to be able to live up to people's expectations, and I feel like I wanted to tell the story in the most honest way possible. And there's going to be some people that are not thrilled with me. Your friend Jay Leno might not be thrilled here and there. Perhaps he'll be okay with it. But
Look at this.
it's all
This
true.
is a party.
I wrote the truth
That's important.
because I know it. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, what it is what it is, right?
I'm a
I mean, you're
people
telling a
person.
story.
I don't want to. I don't want to be any controversy. I just want everything to be quiet and harmonious. And I know there's going to be some people that are not thrilled with me, and that's hard to take. But
I think that's life too.
What it is.
Yeah. It's also
Yeah.
authenticity.
Okay.
When you're being
Yeah.
authentic, you're gonna.
I'm
represent
trying.
others.
Yeah, I mean it's
I
a
think-
Tone of the
document.
book is insanely optimistic and positive. Like
We
it is-
can't hear you, Canada.
Where's your mic?
Where's your mic, buddy?
God damn it.
Everybody I gave a chance. I tried to reach out to and said, if you want to give me your version, please. But there's just some people I wasn't able to connect with, and I just put out the version that I was told. So we'll see.
Poor Canada. I yelled at him and now he left. I'm sorry, Canada. I'm sorry.
Well,
we blame Canada.
Stepped away. Do you want to go to some comments? Don has a bunch.
Oh yeah, let's do a couple comments while we're dealing with this. October 16th, 92. Viewer mail. Jeff Goldblum, Daniel Ballou. That was us and the Screaming Trees. Now, do you remember after the show when they did the Good Nights that one of the Screaming Trees took a pumpkin off because it was Halloween time and harvest time, and they took a pumpkin off of the display table with the chef's thing, and they crashed it over another Screaming Tree's head? And they had that long
I remember that. I don't think it made the broadcast. Oh, it was bizarre. The whole thing was bizarre. And they were so loud, that band. It was just when they played. But I do remember that. I remember the supermarket sweep from viewer mail. They cut to Dave telling get the meat,
and meat,
the meat
coffee, meat. And then I remember there was one with who was the news guy back? Tom Brokaw frying eggs with his
with
his
the
eyes.
friend.
Laser
my
vision.
God, I
Lasers.
remember that. Yeah.
Rob Cates, Jay is a great interviewer and Mark is an interesting guest, so this is a good one, especially for Carson fans. Thanks,
Rob. You've been so supportive. I'm grateful.
He's a big fan of Late Night and Carson. Only slept 3-4 hours a night as a kid. Always watched Carson. Wow.
Nice.
We Late Night viewers got to see tons of backstage stuff, unlike TS, Tonight Show.
Yeah, Carson did a few of those, only a few times, and he tried to do what Dave did backstage, and it looked, to me at least, very awkward, and the payoff never really came, but they did it a few times.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Don't do this.
I feel like even Larry Sanders made a joke about it, and it felt more like they were making a joke about the Tonight Show's attempt than the Late Show or the Late Night's success, where they were like, "Oh, we're gonna get the ticket lady and the producer, and everybody will be a character on the show," and then it doesn't work when you produce it. You just have to. It has to happen organically.
You gotta let our chaos be chaotic.
This is when Artie says there's a moat.
Keeping the people away from
Larry. And the crew are on this side of the moat.
Yeah, you're right. Oh God, how good was Art Rip Torn on that show?
The greatest.
Troy France, so this guy built Mama Fratelli's Jeep up in Astoria. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great day night. You too, Troy. Nice to see you here. Late Night #1, opening to Frankenstein film. It was not Nosferatu, like I said. Frankenstein. Don Giller really does know everything.
He does.
He knows everything.
I included it in my countdown to late night compilation. Don, I still spend time on your channel, man. I know the Late Show channel or the Dave channels where it's at these days, but I really, really enjoy your compilations. Sometimes the longer ones, the ones that are 3, 4, 5 parts, I'll put it on and let it run, in the background if I'm working during the day. Some of my favorites. Oh, now we can hear you, Canada.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, there he is.
Look at that.
Mike.
I put the digital cans
build
in.
a bridge to Canada. Thank God. After all you've done.
I'm sorry, I have to say it. The book is the best Carson book I've ever read.
Oh, that's so nice.
Like the tone is so optimistic and happy and positive, and there was so much dreariness to the other books that have come out. And this one here, again, it's going over the memories that you wish were available on YouTube, and many, if not most of them, are not. They are phenomenal memories of the highest caliber. But then the behind-the-scenes anecdotes I've got for when Mark comes on our show. I've got 4 pages of notes, and we could do 2 different episodes based on different angles that we could take it. I'm on my second read of it. There's
a lot of Dave. Lots of Letterman stuff that people do not know that we cover that I had no idea about that I think people will be really interested in. I was fascinated by the whole behind the scenes, what was going on with Dave when he was guest hosting The Tonight Show and how it almost didn't happen after the first time that he hosted. They were not going to let him do it again, and there's a lot of drama in a good way, but yeah, it worked out.
Can I give one little factoid as to how I believe that Jay Leno would not be mad at this book? And it's maybe a little bit of a spoiler. It's a sentence. When Johnny passed away, he gave something to Jay, and I don't know that I had known this beforehand. And Jay, you may know.
I know.
But Mark,
I know, but I don't. I think it's more of an inside joke than anything else. I think it's more of a sarcastic gift.
Perhaps, Mark, the gift that he gave him.
Just so you know, Johnny didn't buy that or keep that car. NBC found it for the Johnny Goes Home, and then Mark, you probably know. I should let you talk.
Yeah, they were trying to. Johnny did a special. Johnny Goes Home, and they found his father's car, and what Carson drove, I guess, would have been in high school. And
they were trying to find one similar, and they found the actual car because it was still in the town.
Yes, the register. Yeah. And then Jay told me, and he's told other people, that when Johnny passed away, that he wanted Jay to have it.
He left it to Jay Leno.
That's what Jay said. Yes. So I put that in the book.
It's still around the corner from here, a couple blocks away.
Yeah. Was it a 59 something? I forget what it was. Or no, not 59. It was early. Yeah, but he names it in the book. And it is, to me, what a thing to leave him, you know?
I did try. I put in the book also that people still to this day think that Carson, really had it out for Jay, and it was his manager Helen. And I talk about in '90 or after Johnny left the Tonight Show, him and Jay were together, and I know somebody that was with them, and they were super friendly, cordial, laughing. I don't think Carson held anything against Jay. It was just it was his manager Helen. So I really wanted to make that clear, because I think people, for whatever reason, think that Carson hated Jay, and it wasn't true.
Don't you think Joan Rivers plays a role here too? Because otherwise you could say that Johnny didn't hate Joan, he hated Edgar.
There was a lot of drama, but at the end of the day, I go into what I think is probably the most in depth of what actually happened, and there was tons of drama with Joan and what happened. But I think she listened to her husband Edgar, and she deferred to him, and it was a mistake, and it was costly mistake, and I go into that, but.
Oh, I'm glad. So that's covered too in the book.
Oh, is it ever?
Everybody's got to buy this book.
It's incredible.
Don Giller in the late night audience in '84 when Leno was a guest. Jimmy Kimmel. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Jay
Leno was a guest
unbelievable
like every month, so
on the NBC show. What was it? 40 times? 41 times? Don, something like that he was a guest on the NBC show. I mean, Jay was. I think that was probably in terms of the television the best work he's ever done.
Even Jay agrees with that.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And I think I taped every single one.
Well, and if you didn't, there's like a 5-part compilation of Jay Leno on the Don Giller channel, which you should go and watch. I put it on in the background sometimes because it's delightful.
It is just
they both were
so good.
Fun together.
Yes. Yeah. The
and you could tell that they were buddies.
Feel.
Yes. And that Jay was always pushing Dave's buttons, and Dave would try to get a jab back in him wherever he could.
They were just like
so
in the back of the Comedy Store again.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
That was the vibe. There was no camera.
And audience
It wasn't
went
Dave's
away.
show. Jay wasn't the guy. They were just buddies. Yeah, it was great.
So agree.
Yeah.
Dating myself, Arsenio was also awesome back in the day. Totally. Yeah.
Sure.
Everybody, yeah.
I loved Arsenio.
Things that make you go, 30 Rock was mightily accessible when you took me and Heather on a Saturday night tour, I think, in 99. That was 99. It was like a couple days before I moved out to Los Angeles. So what did we see? We saw Conan, Saturday Night Live, probably Rosie O'Donnell. What was going on in 99?
Y2K.
Not quite, almost.
Almost.
This would have been summertime. I think I moved out in the summer. Carissa Coach says, hey,
it was still news. Local news on 6.
Oh, yeah, right. It wasn't live at 5 anymore, but local news was across the hall where Jimmy Fallon is now. Mike Chisholm, please check the chat. The Don's is active. Yay. First time meeting you, you told me about the microphone, Jay, and you were very sheepish about telling me. Yeah, I don't think I had come, I don't think we were public about it. I hadn't gotten the monkey off my back. And I should say this, too. Worldwide Pants has actually been here. Like, they know the story. Barbara Gaines has been here. Walter Kim has been here. They put me on camera telling the story, confessing. So, that was a big thing to help me get over the hurdle. I think that if it was still just me talking about it on the little show, maybe it wouldn't feel resolved. But the fact that they've been here, it made me feel a little bit better about it. Certainly the confession I should have made when I was a kid.
It's your dirty little secret.
It was, but to me, and to other people, it seemed like a little secret. To me, it was a massive secret.
Sure.
Shame.
It's lore
so
now,
shame.
though.
What's that?
It's legendary. It's great story.
Exactly, it's lore.
It worked out.
That's what I was saying. The J. Ryan,
It's not the kind you want,
lore.
though. So that's the funny thing. You mentioned the intern coordinator back in the day. I can't tell you how many times I sent letters in to try to get a legitimate internship, but they always either not they didn't get returned, but I would get the form letter saying, and I wasn't enrolled in college was the problem. I was the right age, and I certainly had the interest in the subject, but I didn't. They said that you couldn't do it unless.
Because it's labor laws.
Yeah, it was literally something like that. She's like, no,
laws.
we have to give you something for it, and we can't pay you. I even would call her up. Like, I got the thing, but I would call up. I mean, I was a real pain in the ass. On the final late night, the staff gave Dave a new mic. Well, that's not really true. They gave him this one after the show. A new mic, and I believe it was that mic that was at the Ed Sullivan for some near-do-well swipe. Yeah, it was the same mic, Don's. And I, according to Glenn Arbor, who was the one who not only got it out of the rafter, so I don't want to tell the whole story. This is going to become my podcast, Mark. I'm so sorry.
No, please.
The mic apparently was in the story I got from Glenn Arbor at Conan. Glenn Arbor was one of the audio guys who was there all through Dave, and he was a car guy too, so Dave and he used to talk cars. They were buddies. Glenn told me, and Glenn was a legacy there. His dad worked on Jack Parr and on I don't know if it was Carson, but something before that. And he told me that when Steve Allen was going to be a guest on Late Night in the very beginning, that they were going to have him redo one of his segments that he used to do with the desk and the whole thing, and he was going to put the glasses on and do the whole like Steve Allen doing his old show. So they needed an old RCA 77, which is what used to be on Steve Allen's desk, the nice tall sucker. Glenn told me that when they tasked the audio department, this was not current anymore, it was an old antique, but he said that they were still hanging in the rafters in 6B as audience reaction mics. He said there was a bunch of them.
Wow. And
he said that we just went over there, unscrewed one, brought it over, put it on a desk stand, and used it for this thing. Apparently, according to Glenn, after they did that segment or whatever, Dave then requested to start using it on the desk, the late night desk. But it was still tall and in the whole thing. Over the years, that got lowered, they made the new desk and all the different stuff, but apparently it was always the same mic throughout the entire run, which is why this thing is so beat to hell. Remember they used to do Hal Gurney's Al Marr's box of thrills, and they would drop shit on the desk and everything. Apparently it just got damaged to hell over the years, and to the point where they started putting a prop one on whenever they would do something crazy. So according to Glenn Arbor, he's the one, and the other audio guys, that gave it to Lori Diamond and Dave the night after the night of the final late night with David Letterman. After the show, they had a party in the studio. That's the information I always had, and then it certainly looks to be the same. So it makes it even worse.
It is great, though. The patina, it's like
so
you can see the decades of show business.
Yes, and if you saw that on a desk, not up in the theater, but downstairs somewhere, I think I told myself, oh, that's not it. It's just a backup that's just like it. And and out I went. Oh, Christ. This is a whole different... Mark, we're going to talk more about you. Mark, you're a effing god. Embrace it. I agree. Totally agree.
Killer.
Amen.
Yep.
What's Mark's beef?
Oh, wow. Speaking of Mr.
I didn't know I had a beef.
No, this is when you were talking about people that are not going to be happy with the book and your concerns there. That's when that comment came through.
It's not. This is a Jay Leno joke. He used to do a bit every time they were together. What's my beef?
But it came through at that same time.
Oh, I see.
I hope you're right about Jay, Mike. We'll see.
Oh, I can't see how anybody would be. You were so respectful in everything that you said, and there was nothing disparaging. And I got to tell you, like, even the intro of the book, you go through what other books about Carson have said, and you go through all of the things, and then you write 400 pages after that, basically contradicting the mood of those other books. And, I just love that. You talk about, the book is aptly titled, Love Johnny Carson is the perfect title for it, because the impression that I had, and I've read a lot of this stuff over the years, was jaded compared to reading the book from the people who were actually touched by the man not necessarily in a professional relationship with him and had bad blood or things like that. There are a lot of people who wrote jaded things about Johnny. This here to me is the definitive book about Johnny Carson.
Wow.
It just is. It's so
Love
good.
Love
it's
that.
so good. And people who want to access this historical figure now, every millennial Gen Xer who loves this stuff is going to love this book.
It was one of those things. The reason it was called Love Johnny Carson is because the 400 plus people I talked to, so many of them kept saying, I love Johnny Carson. And it was everywhere and I couldn't ignore it. And we used that as the title. And there are warts in this book. I mean, he would talk about his drinking problems on the show. Mm-hmm. He would talk about how him being overly competitive was not healthy. And there are plenty of people he banned on the show that I put in where he just was a very sensitive person. And people probably wouldn't think things that would bother him, but he was very sensitive. And I go into all those, I don't want to call them flaws, but I mean, nobody's perfect. And I just wanted to show that he had struggles.
Oh yeah, you don't make him out to be a saint. You basically make him out to be a person. You make him out to be a person, which is what he was under extraordinary pressure and in a one-of-a-kind position in entertainment.
In the drinking, he said on the show, I'd have the one more drink, I'd be fine, and I'd turn into Attila the Hun. And we get into some of the stories around New York. Oh my goodness. Those 10 years. I mean, people forget Carson was doing an hour and 45 minutes. I mean, he had to do 2 monologues for years. He would do the one for be 11:15 to 11:30, and then he would do another one for at 11:30, and it was just, I mean, he was exhausted.
That's a lot.
It was, and then he went down to 90 minutes, but it was still a marathon for that guy. But definitely there was a lot of drinking going on in New York. Was there?
My only issue was when Mark claimed there were 2 different Carsons. Discussing how you fact-checked his book.
Don did help a lot. Don was huge.
All right, I have a nerdy question because I know Mark will know this. So, Mark, when Carson came to Burbank, did he continue to do a 90-minute show? Or was that when he trimmed it?
Oh, I thought it was already short by then.
It was still 90 minutes up until the early 80s. So, they kept it at 90 minutes. Johnny, I think it was, the 15 minutes went to, Johnny refused to do them the first 15 minutes. I think he put his foot down on like 66, and then Skitch Henderson and Ed would do the first 15 minutes, and then Johnny would come out at 11:30. And then in May...
Ed would tell the story that Johnny didn't feel well for about 15 minutes for a couple weeks until they
we talk about that in the book.
Oh, good.
The 15-minute virus, Johnny called it. I had a 15-minute virus.
Wow.
I don't know what was wrong.
Son of a gun.
They went to the show, and then Johnny just in the early 80s went down to 60 minutes just because Johnny thought the pace of the show, it would just help the show, and he was just truthfully exhausted. He was really tired, and the energy, he just didn't have the same energy. And by the end, the last couple of years, he was doing 3 nights a week, and it wasn't out of laziness. It was that he did not have the same energy, and he didn't want the show, the quality to dip.
Wow. It's so wild.
It's the move.
Let's see. Oh, sorry again. Let's see. Mark, I plan to video iPhone you at the NYC reading.
Are you going, Don? I hope you do. Go.
Well, it's right in his neighborhood because I checked the address you posted, and it's right by the Seinfeld diner.
When is it?
That's right. Yeah, it's on the. It's at Book Culture. It's on the 23rd of October, which is Johnny's 100th birthday.
Wow.
And it's at 7:00 at bookstore Book Culture, 112th Street between Broadway and Amsterdam. And I will be there. I'll be signing books. I'm going to be doing a talk. We'll see what happens. I've never done anything like this before, but I am very nervous. But Don, please come because is anyone going to be there? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, you, and Christine. And
I think this is going to be your nightmare, but it's going to be a total success, and it's going to help you overcome some of your neuroses.
I am going to be announcing soon. I'm going to be in a bunch of different cities with the book. Some places are having me come out, so it'll be an interesting thing to just meet people and talk about the book.
That to me is a good sign that your publisher is going to push this out by having you go around different
places.
Oh,
it's not my publisher. I love my publisher. It was not the publisher that is doing that. It's other entities that have been nice to reach out. And my publisher's wonderful, and I love them. But no, that's not it at all. But it's all good.
Are you going to come to LA?
I am going to be in Los Angeles. I'm working on an event. We'll see what happens. But LA is tough because even famous people, I'll just say who the person is. My friend went to a Joel McHale book signing in LA, and 20 people showed up. And it wasn't promoted well, but for somebody that famous to have 20 people show up,
LA is 20 tough. LA is not a
I know, that's where I'm.
It's
kind of I have family, I have some friends, some people might take some pity on me, but I don't know.
Paul Schaefer and the band played here. Nicole was still walking, so I'd call it 7-8 years ago, something like that. It was when they did that World's Most Dangerous Band tour again. They got it back together, and they played the Saban Theater, and it was empty. It was such a bummer. Martin Short was in the audience. We were front row center. It was, I was happy to get the tickets, happy to pay for the tickets. Had no idea it would be empty, and we probably could have just moved up front like a baseball game. Going to see Bruce Hornsby or somebody that would kill in another town. Empty. LA is just not
what
a
it is.
city.
Yeah,
and the thing about LA also is that we have so much comedy here all the time, and it's people at the top of their game, like casual shows.
Yeah.
Like I have friends that produce shows with the top people in improv and stand-up.
It's true.
So it's like it can be difficult because we're like, okay, I won't see them this day. I'm gonna go I'll see them at the next one. It's other cities don't have that.
Sporting events are the same way. They show up late and leave early to beat the traffic or whatever. I'm like, well, what kind
I think
of
that's
fan
a
are you?
huge factor too. I mean, you can get on the subway in New York and you're there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so
I just laugh at.
Yeah.
So, I was gonna say I laugh at Conan's fandom because I was going to the show when it first started in '93, and they could not fill 199 seats. Nobody wanted to be there. NBC pages would try to beg people to come up from the street, and no one wanted to be there. No one, people did not think Conan was good or funny, and it's unbelievable to see now the hero worship and what happened with that. But
I think I told you I was there when it was week-to-week pickups, and all of the
it was 12
and
weeks.
the other old school people, the old school crew guys that were still smoking in the stairwell and stuff.
Yeah.
They were like, nope, this isn't gonna go. This isn't gonna go.
Yeah.
Wow. You were working on the show.
I was an intern. Intern and
I
was a production assistant. Yeah, exactly. Intern and production assistant. Yeah.
I have a friend
through
who
like
was
a work
there
study
during that
program.
time. Yeah.
It was technically '94 for me, but that was only like 3 or 4 months after he first started in September.
Wow. Very cool. That I can't imagine what that was like being around that.
Troy,
it sounds hairy.
It was because I give Conan so much credit for overcoming that time.
Yeah.
Like that's really a lot of people don't realize. They know Conan now when he came into his own. I mean, he was ahead of his time for quite a while when nobody was into it.
He was depressed out of his mind. I would see him over at Saturday Night Live, and he looked like when he would be walking through the halls like he lost the Super Bowl. I mean, this was '93, early '94, and
like Charlie Brown walking down the street.
Pretty much.
And isn't it fair to say that Letterman kind of saved him in a way?
Yes, February of '94, 100%.
Yeah. Because it was sort of like the stamp of approval.
Yeah.
The biggest thing in TV. Dave was the biggest thing in TV by far.
Most powerful man in American broadcasting. Troy Friend has just finished Mark Marshall's book. Mark Marshall is also someone we met up at the Goonies weekend. He was Spielberg's assistant and the Goonie wrangler for that movie. Loved it. Loved behind-the-scenes material. Carson, Leno, Letterman, Arsenio were
my childhood. Where do we get your book? Are you autographed copies available? Thanks.
Oh yeah, I'm going over. I live here in New York City, and I'm in Astoria, Queens. So the Astoria Bookshop is selling signed copies. I'm going to be going over there before publication date and signing copies, and then I will be announcing when I'm different places I'm going to be appearing across the U.S.
as your tour
so
comes
we'll
together.
see. But thank you for. I'm so grateful. I just hope people like it.
It's gonna be great.
Everybody's gonna love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you know if they're selling the autographed copies online, or do you have to go in person?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I've ordered mine.
From the Astoria bookshop. It's called Astoria Bookshop. They're selling them. So yeah, the signed copies. I'm signing all of them. So yeah.
Darren M. Cox says, I've been going through dozens of old episodes for promos on Antenna TV. I didn't realize his monologues bombed almost
every night.
Wow. Isn't that funny? I'm assuming he means Carson.
Yeah.
I think they went to 60 Minutes after Johnny Carson returned from his strike in 1980. So that's what I recall as well. It was a contract negotiation as well to get it down to 60 Minutes.
There you go.
Got ownership of the show as well, which was unheard of in Letterman.
Yes.
Correct.
Got ownership of CBS.
And
when else has that happened?
That was
Conan
the
with
for
Warner
Worldwide
with
Pants.
TBS. Conan owns TBS.
Conan owns TBS?
Yeah. Oh, that was part of it. That was part of him going to basic cable from network, was that he would own the show.
Oh, Conan owns Conan.
His own show.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought he made a deal with Ted Turner. Mark, if you feel uncomfortable with the reading, start reciting from a French catechism.
I've done that before, Don. And I'll do it again if I have to.
Are you going to get on any
Conan
shows?
tickets that day from some NBC page in the gift shop. Yes, they were giving them out. They were literally going. He's not kidding.
Could get in.
Yeah, the pages would literally walk around the whatever that lobby area was called.
Just trying to fill the seats.
Yeah.
I'm not going on any late night shows unless something drastic happens or they have a cancellation or.
Do you know
something.
Brian Tetta? We should get you on The View.
I like Brian a lot. He knows about the book.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be.
Whoopi went on Carson 3 times, but it's all good.
Gunnerman says Conan was depressed and came out and spent time with Garry to get back on track here in Hawaii. So that's true.
Shandling.
That's true after the Tonight Show debacle.
It was by chance, though.
Correct.
Conan did not know he was there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Until he got a phone call. He said,
right.
Conan, it's Garry. I'm down the hall.
Conan.
Yeah. And then they apparently, became very good friends and then would do that more often over the years.
And who better? If you're in a funk.
Well, and who better? Who knows late night better than Garry Shandling? He used to host the Tonight Show. He had the Larry Sanders Show.
Yeah.
Guest on Letterman all the time.
That moment, and I think it was
like a Buddha.
Oh yeah.
On top of it.
Late night Buddha.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, for real.
Literally had
can you imagine?
He had the what is that called? The tattoo of the lack of ego circle.
Yes. Yeah.
He had that tattooed on the back of his neck before he passed away.
Wow.
Yeah.
The ego. It symbolizes ego death.
Egoless.
Yes,
right?
but I can't remember what it's actually called. It's a Buddhist symbol of the circle.
And I just watched the Apatow documentary again.
Yeah, me too.
For the umpteenth time. It's so great.
Yep.
Mark, you must love that too. Are you a Shandling fan?
Oh, 100%. Larry Sanders Show. I got to only meet him one time. I was around him a couple times, but I only got to meet him the one time. But oh yeah, I mean, the show completely holds up. I'm in awe of him. One of my favorite things is when Shandling is an unknown comedian. He guest hosts the show, and it was actually Albert Brooks was supposed to guest host and had to go to the hospital.
Whoa.
And they needed somebody. And I go into this in the book, and it was Shandling guest hosted it as an unknown. He was only the second person ever an unknown person to guest host, other than Dave Letterman, who did it, I think, after his 4th appearance. Guest hosted as an unknown. But Shandling comes out, and there's tears in his eyes. It was his dream to guest host the show. And there's just something wonderful about him, this bright smile when he comes out to guest host for the first time, and just those tears. And I do talk about in the book when he found out that they asked him to guest host. He was with Brad Gray and just started bawling. It just meant so much to him. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
One of my favorite showbiz photographs to this day is the one with Carson, Shandling, Leno, and Letterman. I love that photo so much.
Tuxes,
yep. I love that
photo.
At
the Emmys? Were they at the Emmys? Probably.
I think it was an anniversary show. I thought it was an anniversary show on set. I think.
Yeah, Johnny brought each one of them out and told them he was their favorite or something like that. I think
that's
that was
hilarious.
It might have been that
so
night.
Johnny. I met Shandling a handful of times, but Mark, sorry to bring it, they were all at Saturday Night Live. He used to come to a lot of Saturday Night Live tapings back in the day.
I didn't know
He would just
that.
hang out in Lauren. He would walk along that 9th floor hallway past the green room where we all were, and then just go straight into Lauren's office. Probably just drinking wine, watching from there. Lauren had 2 offices, one upstairs with the rest of the production, and then one that overlooked the studio, like with a big glass window.
Well, I knew I'd seen photos of you with Shandling, which I'm very envious. That's heavy duty.
Yeah.
He just
to have spent any time around him. That's big deal.
The truth is, I'm a big fan. I feel like a lot of people who had ever even met him, they felt like they got a piece of him when he passed away. I was driving in the car, and Nicole and I had just decided to tell the microphone story, and we were like, Garry Shandling will help us do this, because who is more vulnerable and honest, and who else could help? And I was driving, and she said, call me when you're pulled over, or let me know when you're not driving. And I said, I can handle, what is it? Whatever. And she goes, Garry Shandling just died. And I pulled into some grocery store parking lot and just sat there and cried, because even though we were not even remotely close, I don't even know if he would remember me at all. He left such an impression through his work and then just being a nice guy, that it was awful. It was so gut-wrenching. It was like, forget the thing that we were, in my mind, we were going to do. He wasn't around anymore. And it was right after that Seinfeld. He just did the Seinfeld Comedians in Cars, telling the story about, it's so great, Garry Shandling's still alive.
Yeah.
Going to the cardiologist or something like that, getting checked up. And then,
I would say, Mark said something so, as you said, so succinct. It was so beautiful the way he said it about those NBC Letterman episodes, those years, and what they mean, and just how substantial and untouchable those shows are. That's how I feel about the Garry Shandling show.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that is...
Larry Sanders?
I'm so sorry. Yeah, the Larry Sanders show.
Only because there is It's Garry Shandling show, which is
also great. But to me, Larry Sanders...
I can watch those over and over and over again.
Yeah, I can't imagine it ever being beaten.
Whenever it's done, I just want to start it over again, because I don't like that I'm without it.
And everything's in there. Kind of like Shandling lived, everything is in those shows. No matter what's going on with you in your life, it's addressed in those shows at some point through one of the characters or one of the situations. And don't get me started.
No, I'm glad that we all have an appreciation for him. I mean, some people are like, he's fine. I'm like, what?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Oh, Venkman in Hawaii. Love to LNP, Sean Bishop. Good to see you. I already have Mark's autograph from that fat paycheck he sent me. Nice.
Don calls me Fridays and says nice things to build my self-esteem, and I do pay him handsomely.
Darren says one of Shandling's best moments was when he was on Make Me Laugh. I don't know that one.
When he takes off his shirt, that's like the funniest one, when he's on Make Me Laugh and they all take off their shirts.
Hilarious. Don Giller, yes, tonight we're going to guess Mark's weight, and then maybe this is the evening when we find out.
Nope. I've given you opportunities and you haven't guessed it, so that's on you. Sorry.
Hilarious. I love that we're calling back something from like 8 months ago. It's great. It's great.
From like our first episode back.
There you go. It was on Johnny's set. Okay, so you're right, anniversary show. 88 anniversary. Look at it. Bunch of fact checkers.
Love it.
He noted that Garry was a good friend, so naturally funny in real life. That was it. The first time I ever saw Garry Shandling, met him, saw him, was same thing, same hallway. And I was coming up, Mark, you'll know the staircase outside of the host and the musical guest's dressing room that go right up to 9 outside of the green room. I was running up those stairs during an episode and just got to the door to open it, and there's Garry and Lauren walking by, like I just mentioned, and he just looked at me, and he goes, and there was 2 other guys too, and he goes, ladies. It sounds like a dig, but it was just so, you'd have to see his face, he was straightening his tie. Ladies.
Yeah.
Just so smooth and nonchalant.
You can hear the delivery.
Yeah, and he was in a suit. I mean, it may as well have been Larry Sanders.
Yes.
Which was funny.
Yeah.
So blessed that Garry was a good friend, naturally funny, helped spread his ashes. Yeah, you did. And you also spent a number of Thanksgivings with him in Hawaii. Our friend Gunnar lives in Hawaii, and Garry would visit from time to time.
Wow.
And then Porsche people as well. Garry had Porsches.
Had a 930 turbo, right?
That's what he had for a long time. I think he had a bunch of cars, yeah.
His
him.
first new car. No, it wasn't his first.
That wasn't his in the episode. That wasn't his.
Was it
I think his was either black or charcoal.
Okay.
But yes, a 930 for sure.
Yeah.
So we are very lucky to have 3 different hosts here and a guy who's very good on camera. I'm going to take this opportunity to use the restroom very quickly. So talk about whatever you want.
Oh, wow. Here we go.
Mark, with Garry and Jonny, was there ever a conversation where, like, Garry made it very clear early on that he would rather kind of lampoon and sort of be on the outside with Larry Sanders than actually get involved in the whole deal. I imagine a bunch of that was respect for Jonny.
Some of it was, but Shandling said that if you're on TV every single night, it changes you as a person and not for the best. And there's definitely people that have had that job that's affected their mental health. And if people suffer from already depression, it's going to heighten things way more. Shandling would talk about how exhausting hosting this show is, and Letterman would talk about it as well, but Shandling would say no one knows how exhausting it is. I think it was a lot of different things, but I definitely think maybe some of the reverence for Jonny, but Peter LaSalle, Jonny's producer, wanted the permanent guest host to be Shandling, and when Shandling didn't want to do it, Peter told me he didn't want to give it to Jay, but that's what they had to do.
I'll tell you this, knowing it's become famous or infamous, I guess, depending on your point of view, about Jay and how he famously didn't spend any of his Tonight Show money. This ideal started way early. And if I'm NBC, like, what a calculated move to go in and say, hey, just give me the standard rate to host the Tonight Show. And I mean, when the production says, okay, well, these guys are going to be asking for $25,000 a night or whatever, and he says, no, just give me whatever the scale was. That was a very, very, very shrewd, smart move on his part as well.
It was I'm sure Helen Kushnick, his manager, probably played a role, and they knew that Jay in Vegas and on the road was his money was going to go straight up, which it did. It happened to Joan Rivers. She was setting records. She broke one of Sinatra's records when she was permanent guest host. I believe it was permanent guest host. And I mean, the power of network television back then when if you could be, the permanent guest host. And Jay was very, very wise, and him and Helen with how they handled that. And go into that in the book as well.
There's a line in the book that I want to ask you about, and I wanted to ask you about it when you come on our show,
sure.
But
you can play this clip on your show.
Well, perhaps that's what we'll do. It just.
I'll sign it.
It was okay. Hold on. I know it's near the end. I'm going to get to it here, but it is such. I can't find it here. I'll get the actual.
By the way,
quote,
if we didn't introduce, this is Mike Chisholm of the Letterman Podcast. For anyone who didn't know, so you got your Conan podcast, your Letterman podcast, whatever this Late Night Playset is.
I'm a listener.
And David Steele over here, who I don't know if Mike got to meet before, is a fan of all of this.
I saw the intro and whatnot. I was driving home.
Mike, while you look for that, I do want to mention. I forgot to mention the fact people around America that were emailing me and said, Mark, who is narrating the audiobook? And I would tell them, I have no idea. And they contacted me. The publisher contacted me about a month ago, and they asked me to do it. And I was scared out of my mind to do this audiobook. But I did 5 days and then an hour or two of pickups, and I did it. So
Wow.
I did that. The book.
That's fantastic.
We're going to get you out of your show one of these days.
I was so curious.
Scary.
Is there an audiobook?
The director of the audiobook had directed Bono, had directed people like Elvis Costello and former presidents. And I just told him, I'm so sorry that you're with me. But he was a huge late night fan, so it was fun. But it was intimidating. But I was in such good hands, and they made me made me sound good, and I am happy. And also, I noticed as I was doing the audiobook some of the errors that were in the book, so I corrected that. There were a few things that I was very disappointed in here and there, but not too many. But yes.
Are you saying Don's missed some stuff?
Oh my goodness, I don't want to say.
There we go. Don wants to know. I guess that's the answer.
I thought they progressively went well, but I was very nervous and I couldn't relax at it, and it was the biggest relief when it was over, just because I just want to do a good job and got through it. So.
Mark, I don't think you understand how lovely and endearing you are. And I think that may be your best quality that you don't know, but everyone likes talking to you. People like listening to you.
Oh, that's nice.
You're one of my favorite parts of anything that whenever there's a documentary about late night or whatever, and I see you're part of it, I'm drawn to you. I find you captivating.
Oh, thank you.
I know that you don't see any of this in yourself, so I feel the need to say it.
Agree.
No, I appreciate it. I should tape this and watch it over and over again. I don't know. I just struggle sometimes with self-esteem. I think we all do.
I think that's everybody who sits behind one of these desks.
Sure.
Venkman over here used to be a writer, producer, director at DreamWorks, and he is saying Shandling was one of the best animation experiences I ever had. Just a magic, genuine human. I mourn the world losing him.
Like Robin Williams.
Like Robin Williams. So I think specifically Venkman's probably talking about Over the Hedge, which had Garry Shandling in it, and Garry Shandling's actually one of my favorite parts in it because the character changed when Garry Shandling started doing the voices. Sean is not only does the animation and everything, but he also is very gifted when it comes to a voice talent. So he would do for years, for all of the DreamWorks stuff, do all of the scratch. Pixar in some movies they'll have Eddie Murphy and Mike Myers doing Shrek together. DreamWorks does it separately. They get whoever they can get, and then they have someone read with them in the booth. And it was always Sean because he could do all the voices.
Wow.
So it would have been Sean and Garry Shandling working directly together for the entire film, which is very, very cool.
Man, wow, yeah.
And it's good to hear that he was a positive experience, although that doesn't surprise any of us, I don't think. I thought Jay would never leave. Hilarious.
Sorry, buddy, he's back.
Yeah.
I have a couple things to say about the audiobook for a second, because I read it. There's going to be a slice of people. I think about a guy like Rob Cates, for example, our friend Rob Cates. We all know Rob. I know he's going to do what I did when he reads the book. And David Ritz, I'm certain he helped you in key ways.
Ritz
However,
the book wouldn't have happened without David Ritz.
And I believe that, and I understand that. But the one thing that he did do in his contribution of it is he did not take away your voice in any way. I read this book like it was you doing an episode of the Carson podcast. I could hear it in your voice.
And we really appreciate that.
And those of us who were fans of the Carson podcast, that's going to be a little Easter egg or a little extra thing that we will get in reading it. I've got the Carson quote here, and this is prophetic,
Maybe that's
if anything.
just Mark's storytelling. Maybe that's just how he does it.
Perhaps. But it was written in your voice. It really was.
I'm glad to hear that.
This is a Carson quote, and it's about late night television and the amount of hosts. There cannot be 4 or 5 late night shows on about the same thing without someone taking a bath. And isn't that a prophetic statement as to what's going on right now in the world of late night? Johnny Carson said that 30 some years ago.
I said that to Tom Shales, I believe, in '93.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Yeah.
Dave used to say one day all talk shows will be like this, and he was right. For about 20 years, they all kind of just tried to copy him.
Yeah.
Adam Unger says Mark's passion for the subject matter comes through in everything he does. Could not agree more.
Thank
Mark.
you, Adam. That's so nice.
The official
That's infectious to your audience.
That's the official Warren Zevon historian, Adam Unger is, just so you know.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, sure, of course. I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, it just wouldn't make sense for someone else to do the audio version of that book. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's written in your voice. It should be heard in your voice.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. The confidence. So, yeah.
And while you may not like it, we all love it.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll see. Yeah.
How are things going at latenighter.com? You still are contributing over there. I still see things written by you constantly.
Great. Yeah, that's great.
Do you enjoy that?
We just had John. Yeah, it's so much fun. We just had John Glazer and Wyatt Cenac. Yeah, some really good people coming up on Inside Late Night, but Late Nighter is great, past and present in terms of the late night news, and it's just a subject that fascinates so many of us. And to have Bill Carter, who is the godfather of late night, in my opinion,
wrote the books.
in terms of writers, to have somebody with his wisdom and he was there. He talked to all of them. He even talked to Johnny Carson for Late Shift. So to have someone like that, and then someone like Dan Pasternak, and Ricardo does such a great job, and of course our fearless leader Jed is phenomenal. So yeah, I just feel fortunate to be a part of it.
I was lucky enough to be a guest on the Letterman podcast the other day that'll come out soon. But one of the things we talked about, or maybe Mike was surprised at, was that I don't watch these shows anymore. Since Letterman went off the air, I watched Colbert a little bit in the beginning just to see what they were going to do with it. And then I fell off. And one of the ways I keep up with what's going on in late night is because of LateNighter.com and the Inside Late Night podcast that you do. So you're doing a service to all of us fans of this, even though whatever's out there now may not be what we're into.
Yeah, John Schneider from the Saturday Night Network has been doing recaps for Late Nighter of all the shows, and he's really, really good. And his knowledge of SNL is phenomenal. So,
well, I'm including your podcast in that too, though, the Inside Late Night Podcast, because I feel like you cover a lot of it.
We try. Talking to people at all the different shows and past, present. But at the same, I think still the biggest thrill is talking to like a Burt Sugarman from Midnight Special, who created the Midnight Special in 1973, which was to have something after Carson was unheard of. So that without Midnight Special, that's the thing that got people. Maybe we could do Tom Snyder and try something at 12:30, and then Saturday Night Live. And so to talk to somebody like Burt Sugarman and talk about Midnight Special and just everything that went down, and him and Johnny were tennis buddies, and they played, and Johnny was so supportive. And then I still think that YouTube channel, the Midnight Special, which they filmed at NBC Burbank, it's just an unbelievable catalog. And Burt Sugarman, being the good businessman he owns all the footage. He owned the show.
Yep. Yeah.
NBC didn't believe in it enough, so Burt paid for all the costs, so he owns it. And what a smart business move. How long did that go? Oh, Midnight Special, I think it was 73 to 1980 maybe, or 79 or 80 or something like that. But you have every comedian from Steve Martin to Freddie Prinze to whoever, and then you have every band. Music from David Bowie to Linda Ronstadt to whoever. Debbie Harry. It's really the YouTube channel's phenomenal.
You mentioned being tennis buds with Johnny. Did you notice that the Johnny Carson estate is back on the market? Just got listed last week.
I did for only $110 million. Only.
Well, that's all of the articles say $110 million, but if you actually go to look it up, it's $65 million. So all of a sudden we can all split it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought that's what he.
Sure.
Yeah.
I thought that's what the Vape King paid for it originally, but maybe it was 55. It was something like that he got it from Sidney Kimmel, who was a film producer.
Right.
And I really want to go over there. They definitely, Sidney Kimmel changed a lot of the architecture from when Johnny was there, but there are some things that just are still there. That
the pictures look very similar. Unless they're using old
like
photographs.
The interior with the trees, there definitely are some similarities. So I hope to go over there. We'll see.
We know the next door neighbor, the people who live in the house just north of that on the point, are friends of ours that we see in Malibu a lot. So going over there, I don't think is going to be an issue. If you ever want to, at least before it's sold.
I'd love to. For sure.
I've never been myself, and I've certainly always wanted to, just for the obvious reason. I want to take the tunnel from I don't know if you know this, but there's the house on the point with the pool and everything, and then it's kind of a lollipop cul-de-sac type deal. And in the center of that is the NBC-built tennis court that is up to whatever the official standards that, like, it's basically like Arthur Ashe over there. It's sunken in. There's an audience seating. There's a whole huge clubhouse. It's stunning, but there's a tunnel that goes from Johnny's place over, so he doesn't have to walk across the street.
Oh, that's so
funny.
Can I just
point?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
there were multiple people that told me that, and then the architect who designed the home, who designed and was there for all the installations, that there is not a tunnel. I thought that there was from people that I talked to, but they said that environmentally they wouldn't have been allowed to put a tunnel into the rock, and they told me Johnny would have to go across the street every time. And,
okay. Maybe that wasn't true.
Johnny's nephew, who was president of Carson Entertainment,
Jeff
told
Stotzing,
me that there was no tunnel to his knowledge either.
Okay.
But I don't know. A couple people told me there was a tunnel. I want there to be a tunnel. I hope there's a tunnel.
Yes, I want to believe that. I want to believe that.
And the Ed Sullivan Theater, there was always the I guess you'd call it a tunnel. I mean, they were hallways underneath, but there was one that went to Angelo's Pizza.
Ooh.
I don't know if you know that.
I heard about that. That's how Dave snuck out the last tape aid, right?
Is that true? I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. They had a decoy limousine or town car by the stage door, and then Dave and one of his assistants, went out. They snuck out from the Sullivan Theater through the pizza joint, and they walked to the party a couple blocks away.
I feel like it's also how they smuggled Jay in for the commercial.
Did you ever go from the Ed Sullivan Theater office building lobby where Willis would have been, just across from the elevators? There's the door to go down into the theater without going outside.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever go down there? So there's another one
times.
of those over at the pizza place if you follow those catacomb tunnels, and it goes up to a door in the pizza place.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently Jackie Gleason used to use it in the old days when they would shoot the honeymooners there.
Gleason, back when it was McGee's, when it was
McGee's
the bar,
Pub, exactly,
pizza.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Man,
this is cool.
That's good stuff.
We're getting deep
much
into the
folklore.
nitty-gritty.
I want to go back a little bit here though about this Carson's property I mean, Mark, a couple of years from now, some book sales, that could all be yours.
You can have a tunnel
Living
too.
in Malibu, watching the whales, putting koi fish back.
We'll get you a white Corvette.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
No
C5
DeLorean.
Corvette.
Yeah. Isn't that Carson would get a white Corvette from Chevrolet every couple of years?
Yeah, because the DeLorean didn't work out so great.
It sure did not.
The three DeLoreans didn't work out so great.
Oh, man.
I've heard a lot of those stories. And I know the person who owns the actual Johnny Carson DeLorean. They own the first Ecto that we ever built, too, which is pretty cool.
And it still doesn't run.
I am grateful to Kat DeLorean for allowing me to use in the book. We have color photos in the book, and it's a photo of Johnny Carson holding her as a baby.
Aww.
Yeah.
Oh,
At his other
And I
Malibu
love
house, the first Malibu house, right?
Wow.
With a DeLorean in the driveway. She's like my sister, right?
Oh no, I'm supposed to. I really want to talk to her. I've emailed with her husband, but I've never connected with Kat. I hope to. I'd really like that.
I'm gonna see him on this road trip. I stay with them in New Hampshire every time, so I'm happy to connect to you guys. Like,
just tell them
officially.
I said hi. I would absolutely love that. But I really
she has a lot of memories from that time.
Oh, that's great. I was so happy to put the photo. The photos are really fun. To my knowledge, they've never been published in a book before. A lot of candid stuff from behind the scenes that people have let me use, which was nice because there was no budget. So we're nice.
What is that right? Did you just start writing this before you sold it out of passion, or did you sell the idea and then get money and then start writing it? How did it work for you?
I tried to do it as an oral history, and I had a literary agent. And nobody wanted it. Every publisher turned it down. They said older people do not read oral histories. So it was like a month of my life, and it was just tears. And then what happened is I ended the podcast, and it occurred to me that for me to do this as a book, it would have to be a real book, and I was just so overwhelmed at the thought of having to do a book, and it just was. It did terrify me that I contacted 6 individuals that were very successful authors who I admired greatly. 4 out of 6 I did not know, and David Ritz was one of them. And I just said, listen, I've talked to 400 some people. What I have, I feel the information is very valuable, and I think it would hopefully get some media attention. I just really want someone to guide me through the process and do this with me. And David and I hit it off. I mean, David did Don Rickles' book. He was with Don. He was with Paul Schaefer, Ray Charles. I mean, talk about winning the lottery in terms of somebody to really walk me through it and just that had been there. So David is the one that he got me his agent, and he's the one that got us the deal. And it was without David Ritz, it never would have happened in a million years. We did the book proposal, and he had done so many book proposals and knew how to do everything. I mean, he's just one of the greats in terms of what he does.
I'm guessing your persistence probably played a role as well, right? If you got a bunch of no's and just stuck with it.
I got one person that said I don't write with anyone else, but they were interested, and I said I'm not going to do that. And then 2 people out of the 6, I don't think the message got to them. I was guessing their email address. It could have.
Guessing
and then
that's great.
Oh, that's worked so many times for me.
Yeah.
That has
really
worked so many times to get guests. Oh yeah, guessing people's emails. It's worked for me so many times.
Oh my God, you are a crafty son of a gun.
Sometimes.
Now I see how you got it out. Martin, can I ask you on the bigger scale? I mean, you know,
ask me whatever
everyone in this room, and obviously in Canada as well, we're all touched by this subject matter, these shows, whether it was Carson, Letterman, whoever your guy was. What kind of role do you think these shows played in society and the everlasting impact they've had?
You think like back then or now?
You tell me. I don't know. I mean, I loved them back then, but it still affects me now, obviously.
I think back then, at least.
You don't say.
I think so many people look at Dave, the NBC show, is like, I've heard people say this. So many people, Dave got me through college. It was something where the life could be so turbulent with your studying on all these things, or just like crises, but at 12:30, you knew that you were going to laugh and it was going to be a party, and it was just this different world. I just think he was so consistent throughout all the tragedy. This is hard for especially younger people to think about that this actually occurred. But the night of, or the day that the Challenger disaster happened, where all the astronauts lost their lives, Dave still did a show that night. They went forward with it. And in the tragedy that happened, They made Joan guest host for Johnny, and she didn't do the monologue, and she said some words, and Dave did. But the fact that during a time like that was so tragic, to still be there for people that were maybe, I mean, the nation was mourning for sure, but to be there for them to still do a show was unheard of. It certainly wouldn't have happened today.
No.
But I think, especially
today,
if they're
probably, right?
I would think so.
100%. Right. 100%. I look at 1968, and I talk about it in the book with so much, like the Vietnam War. Then you have Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy, the assassinations, and it was just, Carson was consistent. He did such an eloquent RFK tribute. I mean, he was friends with Bobby Kennedy. They lived in the UN Plaza. Bobby Kennedy would visit Carson in his office, and
was that the night they did the round table instead of the panel show?
Yes, exactly. With Orson Bean, with Alan King. They had 6 people, and Johnny didn't do a monologue. It was just a serious show, just talking about Kennedy. That was just a few days after it happened. And then Martin Luther King.
Same thing on the same day.
Yeah. The Martin Luther King thing was terrible because Johnny does the 90 minutes. He walks off stage, and he finds out that they had just announced that Martin Luther King had died. And it never occurred to Johnny that they would air the show at 11:30, because they're doing all these, they preempt for the news. And then at 11:30, because people back then thought these shows were live, but they'd been taped hours in advance. At 11:30, they played Carson. It was Tiny Tim's debut, and it just everyone's laughing. They don't acknowledge what happened, and
it comes across as tone deaf.
Yeah. So Johnny was furious. So the next day, he apologized and explained that it had been taped earlier, and talked no monologue. Talked about Dr. King. They played Harry Belafonte from a few months prior when he had guest hosted. Carson had given Harry Belafonte the show for a week, and they had Martin Luther King. So they played that. from I think it was February of '68, and then Sammy Davis Jr. wanted to come on, and Diana Ross, and they did a big tribute to Martin Luther King. So I think Carson was just really good at those type of things, just being there for the public. Just the consistency, I think.
That's where the public utility came in. That's what I think these shows used to be. They were kind of a public utility. Sometimes they helped you figure out how to feel in these moments. Oh, yeah. Certainly the Dave 9/11 show.
Oh my goodness,
was the same kind of thing.
Yeah. My God.
Yeah.
So I forgot. You're right. So. Carson would have had to handle JFK, RFK, and Martin Luther King that decade.
It was there was a lot, and then the '70s. There was a lot of tragedy, and it's how do you address these things? And Carson was very good at it, and then Dave and Jay would ask Johnny for advice with things on how to handle things, and I think Johnny just knew his audience better than anybody and was just really in tune, I think, with the country. How do you think
he got to be that way? Where did that come from?
I just think he had just impeccable instinct and was curious and just his friends were eclectic. I just think he knew how to play to everybody and just really could read that room. He did think that the people that were a lot of tourists that were in that audience, the 460 people or whatever, were a good barometer of the country, and he could just kind of really sense the people's moods and what would be okay to talk about, and a joke that might be a little too soon with Nixon, and just he was really in tune, I feel like. And I mean, sometimes he would fall on his face, but for the most part, I think he really, I don't know if it was his Midwestern upbringing, because he really did try to play to the Midwest, but he was sophisticated enough that he played to cities as well.
Coasts as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny was that. Is there anybody of the other hosts of any time frame, just not Johnny, that you can see who does anything similar to that? Letterman, I guess.
I think Dave is this is the closest for sure. He modeled his career on Johnny. I definitely think as a broadcaster goes, I mean, I think Letterman is one of the best, if not maybe certainly the funniest to ever do it, in my opinion. But in terms of as a host, I would put him after Carson, probably, for sure. I mean, I think Dave is just the first couple years of CBS, and the show became then something else. He didn't put as much time into the show, and it just became something else. It was just different. And I still loved watching him. But yeah, there was something about Carson 30 years without any serious competition being number one. And there was people sometimes be like he had no competition. I mean, 1971, he has 4 televisions set up in his apartment at the UN Plaza building. He's at 11:30. He's watching himself, Dick Cavett Show, Merv Griffin, David Frost, and I mean
forgot about David Frost.
And whenever he would say, sometimes I watch, like people would be like, "Do you watch your show?" He'd say, "Sometimes, not a lot." He would watch the show way more than he wouldn't, and he would watch the guest host as well. He was so competitive. So I mean, in that 1971, when he had all that competition, he was like a college or a football coach studying up, and he would just at 11:30 be watching everybody, including himself, and just that was his competitive nature.
I'm sorry to step on you, buddy. I don't know how someone watches the other shows without the other shows then becoming part of what they do. Isn't he famous for not watching Leno and other shows because he didn't want the influence?
That's true, and I think Jay said he would watch Dave, but Dave.
Well, yeah, and then you would see the influence on Jay's show.
There definitely were. It was interesting to me that even. Yeah. I do want to say Johnny was the first to do the new products, the joke new products, which Letterman did, and Johnny was the first to really do a type of Johnny was the first to do what became jaywalking. Johnny did on the show, but he was so polite. He kept saying, now we're not making fun of these people. And then asking, he had somebody go out and ask people just
Backing it up even further, wouldn't Steve Allen have done? I mean, he did the man on the street stuff. He wasn't down there talking to them, but he would narrate what the cameras were seeing, and he would come up with it in his head, and then the audience would laugh.
He came up with a lot. The blueprint of Steve Allen, what's sustained, is remarkable. I mean, yeah. And just the fact that Pat Weaver, I don't understand how the guy gets attribution, because he wanted it to be the Today Show at night and no comedy, and Steve Allen's the one that's like, no, we want comedy and guest, and Pat Weaver was not confident in it at all, and was like, okay, well, I guess we can play around with it, but his vision was 100% the nighttime Today Show. That to me is all Steve Allen.
Yeah. Well, format-wise, but he was the one that came up with the Today, Tonight, Tomorrow shows, right? Like the idea that that's the format.
Well, and Sigourney.
Yeah, he came.
Oh yes, clearly. Is that really? Is she his daughter?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Holy moly! So she's already legacy royalty.
Aren't you glad I'm here tonight?
For many reasons, I sure am. Wow, I didn't know that. I just love when Dave moved to CBS. They kind of copied that format with, he had the late show, then they changed the name of the morning show to the early show, and then so it was early show, late show, and late show.
Yeah.
Late show. Yeah.
We've got more comments here. Let's see. Don Giller, Mark's okay, but he needs a sharper wardrobe. I think we're wearing the same outfit, Mark, you and me.
Everybody got the memo on the color anyway.
Yes.
I forgot my bow tie.
I only wish Mark had mentioned John Runtime.
Okay.
Noted.
Guys, I had to run. Sorry I couldn't stay longer. Mark, I wish you the best with the book. Come to Cincinnati, and I'll
buy you an ice cream.
Oh, thanks, Karen. No, I appreciate it.
Good job. The tunnel you're thinking of is Mickey Rooney's colonoscopy. Don Giller.
Wow.
Don Giller's working out material.
Yes.
Dave got me through puberty, and I was 31 at its launch.
Late bloomer. Don's
on some good meds.
Yeah.
I'm glad Don Giller is feeling better and with us. There were a couple things going on where I don't know. I'm 3,000 miles away, and I don't want to live in a world where there is no Don Giller. So I was a little concerned. But I'm glad he's doing well. And yet the Lincoln jokes were always too soon. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
What do I got?
Yeah, for these guys. I'm so happy you came, but I mean, you probably have some questions of your own.
Well, I'm enjoying the show so much.
Oh, all right.
You're just sitting here watching the show. Now I've got tons of nerdy questions.
You got the right audience.
But, I mean, you know what? I'll go with one because it's always bothered me, and I bet Mark would have an answer for this or would at least know.
I'll try.
Has anything ever surfaced as far as recordings of the very first Tonight shows from New York with Johnny Carson, which famously those original tapes were taped over, and which always seemed to bother. Anytime Carson mentioned that, you could see the fury.
Yeah.
And him, he was so disgusted that they erased his shows.
This is how valuable I am.
That's because the first anniversary show in Burbank, they couldn't really show clips. It was all guest. It was people in tuxes. It was like Reagan was governor, and Jerry Lewis, and I think Jack Benny, and they say they had some that they had here and there, but most of it was white. But there is audio of the very first show from October 1st, 62. There's some audio. And I saw a kinescope from Johnny's first month. I think it's a Stump the Band. They weren't calling it Stump the Band, but there are clips I've seen from 62.
Wow.
I've seen clips from 63, 64 that are not public. But yeah, there's some crazy stuff. Speaking of Sigourney Weaver, it was before she was famous. She was in a sketch. It was her, Peter Lawford, Johnny, and Ed and Doc, and it was wonderful. And she's not famous yet, and that would happen sometimes with people. It was out of New York. Yes.
Wow.
Jeez, I wonder how she got that booking. I mean, she must have known somebody.
Somebody. I also recently on YouTube or Facebook, I'll have to find it for you, but somebody did put up an early episode like Mark's talking about, but it was an episode in its entirety and in color. So it must have been kinescope film back in the day.
Billy Zabka, William Zabka, is from the Karate Kid. He played the bad guy. I can't believe I'm so tired.
He played Johnny, but he's been in a lot of other things as well. And Nicole used to, I think, rep him.
Zabka's the nicest guy. We've emailed back and forth, but his dad, Stan Zabka, worked for Johnny on The Tonight Show, and that was his He's the one that put that up, that in color, that taped it. Was Stan Zapka, William Zapka's father.
Wow. So it's not from the network. Someone had it at home that they recorded it on something.
He had somebody at the show tape it. I don't know how he got the equipment, or he was smart enough to realize when he had left the show and Johnny brought him on as a musical guest that he had somebody on the crew record it. And I think it might be one of the first, if the color that exists.
Right.
I mean,
it was the first however many years it was that it was black and white. Mark, 2 years, 3?
I forget. It was something like that, but just so much of the country didn't have color TVs, so I'm not sure what the math is on it, but but it's beautiful. It's on YouTube. It's the whole show, I believe, from
I've got
65, I think. Yeah.
I'm gonna go. That's what I'm gonna do tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are my favorite clips, the 60s. I've seen kinescopes with the guest hosts, from everyone from Newhart to Alan Sherman to. I'm trying to think of some of the other more obscure ones that I was like, who even is that person? Because they would just get some people here and there that I was like, yeah.
Did Joey Bishop ever guest host, or am I just thinking of his
own
show? He did,
He
right?
guest hosted dozens and dozens of times.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he got his own show that was not so
Yeah. He was actually at the last New York shows were Joey Bishop guest hosting because Carson was getting ready to launch May 1st, 72 in Burbank. So, Bishop was there for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he gave us Regis.
Oh, that's true.
Yes, he did.
That's true.
Yeah.
I miss Regis.
I
Regis
do
was such
too.
a staple for so many years. I hate
Regis,
that he's not with us.
And you know what?
Regis annoyed Johnny.
Yeah, well, he was annoying.
Yeah.
That was kind of his thing. He was
that
annoying.
was his gig.
Yep.
There was one appearance where I think Drew Carey, it was his second appearance, and Regis, you can just see, I know the signs when Johnny was upset, and he was legit upset. And then Drew Carey told me, or I read an interview, I forget which one, that afterwards Johnny, when he was walking off stage at the end, was like just complaining about Regis. Why did he have to be like that?
That is so funny.
I love Regis.
Whoa.
Regis was wonderful to me and always nice. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong. I always got the feeling, seeing Regis on Letterman, certainly during the CBS years, you could sense this real reverence that Letterman had for Regis just because he had been a broadcaster for so long.
I picked up on
Dave was in awe of Regis as a broadcaster. He would,
and I always loved that. There was something so endearing about the way Letterman, because he would give Regis such a hard time, but then at the end of the day, you would see this kind of, reverence about just, man, this guy has been there, and he's been there for a long time, and he's done it all.
I think
and
you're right.
Peter
Letterman
LaSalle.
Richard Simmons when he was in the chair, but then afterwards when he was closing up, we talk about how
Mike,
great
you can
he
take it. I've talked way too much.
No. We might be referencing the same thing. You were in the audience this night. I believe Dave was, it was during the Carson tribute show. I believe Dave was talking to Peter LaSalle, and one of the things that he said was, who in show business is there anymore that is like Johnny Carson? And he said the closest thing is probably Regis Philbin, but the difference being you can push Regis around. I thought that was a great quote.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
When Regis would get off the
Johnny.
stage, when Regis would, after the Letterman appearances on CBS, when Regis went backstage into the airlock, Peter LaSalle would be on the phone giving him his critiques. Regis would have Peter watch them all. And it was a huge deal for Regis and to go on that show. And I thought he was effortless guest.
So that's part of it.
Unbelievable guest.
Regis seemed to have the same love and admiration for Dave, which I always seemed.
Oh, 100%.
I always thought that was interesting because he was so much. He was his junior.
Yes. But yeah, I think he looked at Dave as just this giant, who would probably, I'm just kind of conjecturing here, but I would imagine Regis in his quiet moments would think, why didn't I get a show as big as Dave's?
Right.
Why am I
Sitting
not
next
doing
to Kathy Lee?
Why am I not doing what Dave,
Thank goodness
so I
Peter
bet there was a
LaSalle.
little bit of that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Peter
Yeah, go
LaSalle
ahead.
told me that in the beginning, and the Dana Carvey show made fun of this, is that Peter told me that he thought Regis was basically a stooge in terms of he would just do bits. anytime Jill Letterman would call up Regis to do a bit, Dave, they wanted him to do something. And he wasn't a sit-down guest normally with Dave at this point. He was more known for just doing bits. And they made fun of it on the Dana Carvey show with Dana playing. And then Peter, was I don't know if it was Peter's idea or not, to have Regis stop doing so many of those and just be a seated guest. And that's, I feel like, when he shined for,
Man, I just have to say, as a fan of this stuff, it is amazing. You're kind of very casually mentioning how all these conversations you're having with Peter Lasalle.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was so nice to me.
That's amazing to me.
So much. I miss him.
I mean, as a nerd, that knocks me out. And just because I'm thinking about this right now, I'm thinking about those guys and, Carson's crew. I don't know how long this went on, but I know that, well, anyway, the first time I played The Tonight Show, which was in the fall of 95, Fred DeCorvita was still right at this side of the stage.
He was a consultant, yeah.
Which
still with the
blew my
vodka and
mind.
cigarettes, drinking.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And
you want to I mean, talk about an...
So this is still in the old Johnny studio before they moved across the hall?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but,
Studio
obviously Jay, obviously is there and hosting the show. But I wasn't prepared for that. And, I'm playing in this band with guys my age, and they're wondering why I'm freaking out about this old guy who's off to and I'm like, you don't understand who that is, you guys.
An amazing career.
And one of my great, just kind of embarrassing memories, we play the show, everything goes okay, Jay's super nice, and I've got my guitar, I still have my guitar on, because we finished the show, we were the last act on.
Who were you playing with? Can you say?
That was John Prine.
Okay.
Folk singer,
sure.
Americana guy. And I've got my guitar, and here's Fred DeCorvita standing there. And I'm such a nerd, I walk over to him with my guitar, and I asked him to sign it.
Oh, my gosh.
And he looked at me like I was crazy. And he goes, "You don't want me to do that." And that was his... And I was like, "Oh, okay. Okay, well,
a very polite no.
Nice to meet you," and I walked away. But
wow, a legend, yeah, totally.
Oh
legend.
my God! Yeah. I mean, holy cow!
I loved when he was on Sanders.
Yeah, me too. Well, and then you get to see Freddie versus Artie, and you see where Artie came from.
Yes, yes.
It was interesting.
Yeah. You said you miss Peter Lasalle. He's not gone, is he?
No, he's around. I'm here in New York. He's in Los Angeles. So, yeah.
Can I jump in with one thing because I'm going to forget this?
Please.
Did I hear you right that Bert Sugarman is still alive?
Oh yeah, he's great. I talked to him on the phone. Mary Hart, you could hear her in the background. They're married.
What? E.T. from Entertainment Tonight, Mary Hart?
Oh my God.
Hilarious.
I'm learning a lot tonight. This is great.
Sigourney Weaver, Mary Hart. I didn't know any of this stuff.
This is in another couple hours. We're going to have everything covered.
That's right.
Sure.
Mike, I can see you chomping at the bit there. You got something.
He came all the way from Canada, and I won't stop talking.
Not. Never mind.
No, I am. I'm trying to find the link for the Astoria Bookshop signed copy of the book that you can order online. That's where I ordered from, and I'm trying to put it into the comments because people are putting the Amazon links and things like that. But to me, if anybody wants to buy this book, that's where you want to buy it from. So I'm trying to find.
That's
what Ariel said too.
I posted in there to look for your local bookshop.
Thank you.
Always.
Yeah, so I was looking for the Astoria link, but we can find that.
That's great.
I know I put it in our That's
I really
the place to buy it.
But also look up, literally do look up your local bookshop because it is important that you're supporting where you are as well, and it also helps Mark that he's selling his book in different markets.
Yeah,
so
outside of Amazon.
Definitely try to get the all of it matters. So if you can support your own local bookshop, that's great.
Don Giller thinks that color show that we were talking about is Lennon McCartney Garagiola, May '68. He taped the audio. Someone 8mm some footage.
Wow, interesting.
I don't know if that's the same
it was
one or
such a
not.
train wreck of a show. Tallulah Bankhead. It was 6 months before she died, and she was sick, and she was out of it. I don't know what was going on with her on that panel with the Beatles, with Lennon and McCartney, and Garagiola just just was not a good fit with Lennon and McCartney.
They didn't have anything to talk about? Hilarious.
It was rough.
You do a great job covering that in the book. It's very funny.
It was great to hear, just from the people that were there, the whole backstory, and talking to Danny Bennett, who was Tony Bennett's son, who was there, and huge Beatles fan. So Danny told me all about being backstage. I talked to the Johnny's assistant who snuck them out of the building and into the building. So there was a bunch of people I talked to that were there and got their stories. So.
You are an encyclopedia. It is. I mean, you are the perfect person to write this book. I don't know what you're
worried
about. Thank you.
I appreciate it. I don't know.
It'll never be beat. I don't see how anyone could ever come to
this
subject
very nice.
with what you have.
When you were talking about people with an axe to grind, you're talking about the Bushkin book, right? That's the only one I can think of. The Ed McMahon one was pretty nice.
Yeah, there's some other self-published ones I think that are out there as well. There's other people who have taken shots at Johnny and talked about his character, and Mark, even to his credit, talks about some of those things in broad strokes. And then again, as far as I'm concerned, where this book ends, it's where the late shift begins. And I guess that's the other quote I've been waiting to save for when he's on my show. But I'll say it again. Like I read The Late Shift, which I've read many, many times, and The War for Late Night. As far as I'm concerned, where Mark's book ends, The Late Shift begins.
Wow.
We got a prequel.
Such a compliment.
It's so good. I cannot sing its accolades high enough.
I really appreciate that. Thank you, my friend.
How are you with Bill Carter? Do you know him well? I know you've definitely had a lot of interaction because of the work you've done, but I mean, do you guys know each other well?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a big fan.
He was on, I think, the Carson podcast, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, something like that. And then I was a producer on his podcast for CNN, which was Behind the Desk. So we were in Los Angeles together, and we I helped him with notes and with arranging some guests, and Bill's great. I mean,
Behind the Desk. I don't think I knew that. I knew the Story of Late Night series on CNN.
Yeah. The podcast is there. It won a Webby. I was one of 5 or 6 producers. Yeah, there's some good stuff.
8 parts, I think. It's really good.
Yeah, we have our friend Madeline is in it. Madeline Smithberg.
Mm-hmm. Oh, huge fan. She's gonna come. She just moved to SoCal, so she's gonna come in here and do the show in person.
She moved?
Yeah. She just moved.
Wow.
She's in San Diego now, so she's gonna come do the show in person.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
And then her claim to fame is not even working at Letterman; it's creating the Daily Show.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a story in itself, and yeah.
I'll say. I used to produce their Daily Show live, so I mean, I know everybody over there, and I didn't know that she co-created it until she was on our show. Nicole was like, she also. I was like, what? I had no idea.
Wow.
I then synced everything up and YouTubed it. John Sotsing was pleased. Jeff, maybe?
Oh, good.
Jeff Sotsing?
That's Jeff's son, John.
Oh, no kidding. So he's doing it now. He's kind of running everything.
I think it's still Jeff, but John is working, I believe.
1995, performance on The Tonight Show. Wow. It's linked in the comments. Good job, Adam Unger.
Goodness. I was so young.
Mark, what's this book to which you're speaking? Hilarious. He is very funny tonight. Very funny. Do you think you'll be coming to Seattle or Tacoma or the Pacific Northwest, Mark?
I hope so. We're gonna see. It has a lot to do with people reaching out to me that want to fly me out and
put me up.
If people have invites, we'll see where I'm going, but it's definitely going to be on the West Coast, going to be in the Midwest, and here in New York, and some other places. So we'll see.
Victor Lane says Facebook Live decided to glitch out, so YouTube is it for me tonight.
You just have to redo it sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's okay.
Yeah, if it ever glitches out, just refresh the page because it'll do that with me sometimes too.
Oh, really? Yeah, it says we're still live.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, Christ, starting the show over. Okay, goodbye.
Cheeky little refresh will do it for you moving forward.
How does everybody feel? We've definitely done the time. Mark, did we cover the things that you wanted to cover to promote your book
this was so
appropriately?
much fun. This was great. And I've been going to bed at 8:30 for many reasons. Well, I can tell you when we're off the air.
On the East Coast.
I know. No, this is great.
This is the late show.
This is good.
Yeah.
No, I'm a grown up. I should be staying up I shouldn't be going to bed when 6-year-olds go to bed at 8:30 or whatever.
Do you want to know the truth? I can't believe you brought this up. I went to bed at 7:00 last night because I don't.
Really?
I had work. It was like 2 weeks without a break, and I just crashed. So I'm glad to hear you say that. You got to take care of yourself.
Yep.
You look like a kid still, but we're old now.
Yeah.
Gosh, this book is available everywhere, but definitely check your local bookstores or however you buy books.
Yeah, thanks for that, because I'm not going to send my Amazon back.
Really?
I do want to mention.
I'll order a signed copy from Astoria.
I want a signed copy too.
I do want to mention one thing I forgot. And thank you so much for doing that, by the way. I did want to mention that there might be some new Carson podcast episodes that are going to be bonus
Bringing it
people. Well, the thing is I ran out of guests, and doing this book, I came across so many more people I didn't know existed. So I might have had some conversations already and recorded some, and they might maybe be coming out sometime.
Outstanding.
This makes a lot of people happy, buddy.
That's great.
We'll see. If there's stories to be told, and I think people will like them, and they interest me. Hopefully they'll interest you. So we'll see.
I think you found your audience, buddy. I think you got to keep doing what you like, and then we all like it too because of your enthusiasm.
Gosh,
I mean, we're into this subject matter anyway, but your enthusiasm is infectious.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Right back at you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Thank you. Something's infectious. I don't know what it is. Mark Malkoff, how do we keep in touch with you? How do people follow along with your journey and your successes and your books and everything?
I'm
podcasts?
pretty easy to find. My website is markmalkoff.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, MMalkoff. I'm on Instagram. I think it's just Mark Malkoff. LinkedIn. What else am I forgetting? I'm around. I'm easy to find. There is a private Love Johnny Carson Facebook group, but if anybody wants to join, I'll accept them. I'll put them in. You just
Canada's jumping on it right now.
So that's been fun. But that's it. I'm around. I'm easy to find. Thank you for having me on.
But you're very easy to find. We love that.
I plan to be at all the readings throughout the country. Don Giller never leaves his house, so that's obviously a joke. And record all of them, then edit them together. Last question. Who's older, Mike or Mark?
I think I have 10 months on you. Don and I were talking about this the other night. I think I'm March 76. Are you January 77?
Can I tell you afterwards? I'll tell you afterwards.
All right, fair enough. I think I'm older though. That was my gut.
If those are both true, then I'm the youngest one of the bunch, which makes no sense because I look
We're
the oldest.
about the same age.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. But I'll tell you.
I'm enjoying being the oldest of the bunch.
Don Giller says if you
okay
build I maintain you look younger than me too. It's hilarious. This last year has not been great to me. The Nicole of it all, and that was all stressful and everything, but I still had dark hair. The year after she passed is when this has all happened. I'm catching up.
It's understandable.
Yeah, I guess. Rob Kate says, Darren M. Cox, the jokes bombed a lot, but due to his comedic talents, Johnny won either way. He was a winner with a good
joke. And was often funnier with bad jokes due to his reactions. The band would play T for Two, and he would dance, or he would pull down the boom mic, and say, "Attention, Kmart shoppers!" Oh, I remember that.
That's
or
right.
he would just give a solemn glare at the camera, like his hero Jack Benny.
Oh, Jack Benny was great.
The
wasn't
Benny
he?
pause. The Benny pause. Yeah.
So great.
I have to say, to both of the gentlemen here, these wonderful podcasts where you guys kind of deep dive to the point where you're talking to writers or you're referencing or quoting writers, it's amazing to me to hear these folks talk about one of the kind of challenges was to not get lazy. Because, and you hear this from so many of them, they say it in all these different ways. But basically, these guys were so funny when they bombed that there was a tendency to kind of write in that direction. But it would really, especially with Carson, I've at least heard through Mark's podcast, Carson would kind of catch them on that, and it would piss him off. Like, yeah, you think I'll bail everybody out here. But no, write your best material. I want your best material. Don't rely on me to dig out. But that's such an interesting. I had never thought about that in my life. That could be a psychological game going on with those writers, because they're dealing with somebody who's, a prize fighter, and hey, maybe we'll put in a little, kind of subpar material and see how they dig out. That'll be a funny moment. But that's a dangerous place to go if you're a
Johnny
writer.
Called out Dick Cavett. Dick Cavett said that he thought, once I can just maybe put in some stuff, and Johnny said, I think you're capable of doing better, and called him out on something like that. So just one time. Yeah.
To that point, I think the Letterman crew, the show was really built on making fun of itself. And so they could actually go down that path like it was a water slide. They could just jump down it and go with the momentum. Well, we could make jokes that actually celebrate that the show is not very good, or they could do things to make fun of the show and be self-deprecating.
It was definitely more self-deprecating, that's for sure. But I feel like Dave probably was too, right? So maybe they were playing to his strengths. Yeah.
But of course, again, I think probably Steve O'Donnell being the prime example of this, bringing in 30 great ideas and one or two get picked. And some of these other ideas, we try and rehash them, but then it gets caught. Wait, didn't this idea come in a few days ago? And nice they were great stuff that would then be put aside. And you've got these writers who create later in Late Show who built these extras, because at that point, Late Show became very dependent on some of these videotape pieces and whatnot, fully produced as far as many people would be concerned, excellent material. And no, doesn't quite hit the mark and would never ever see the light of day. So very high standards.
Yeah. Let's play a quick round of Karnak and see if anybody can devise the question to this answer. Don Giller says, "Sis boom ba." Anybody?
Oh man.
Really? I know it too,
It's
Mike.
Kevin Mulholland wrote the joke. I want to give him attribution.
Describe the sound of a sheep exploding.
I was going to say something exploding. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Describe the
That
sound
was
of
Kevin
a sheep
Mulholland.
exploding.
Yeah.
I knew it was the sound of, and that's all I had.
So, okay, this is one of my questions for you, Mark. Was Kevin related to Jim Mulholland?
No, and I always thought that they were, and I always thought Debbie Vickers was related to Daryl.
Yeah,
Vickers,
the other
but there
Vickers.
was
I've got it written in
no
my questions. Yeah.
relation whatsoever. I just was like, okay, there's a lot of nepotism going on here and nepo babies or whatever, but nothing like that.
Don Giller says there are two amazing sketches where Johnny plays Ed Wynn as a professor who answers Ed's questions. Okay. Cool. It bombs twice. Ed fumbles his words. Johnny Carson drags someone from the audience to replace him. That's funny.
Oh, that's
I would have loved to have
like
seen
that.
that. That's great.
Funny.
I like that.
You're no longer my sidekick. I'm going to get this guy out of row 3. The funniest thing I'd seen on Carson. Wow.
Oh, that says something.
Yeah. I got to find that.
I gotta look for that.
Yeah.
Boy, I do. Yeah.
That's good stuff. I think we did the show. David Steele, how do people follow you?
People can follow. I'm Flathead Roadster on Instagram. I run a foundation now called the American Hot Rod Foundation. We're a historical society. So look for American Hot Rod Foundation, ahrf.com. Any of that stuff. I've got a podcast.
Oh, excuse me.
Called The Rodcast, where I interview early kind of hot rod pioneers, guys in their 80s and 90s who were doing it in the 40s and 50s and
Right on.
building cars and going way too fast and kind of starting all the stuff that we now enjoy.
Wow, that's amazing.
Documenting that.
Do you do that from your garage? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a perfect location.
But depending on the subject, we do a lot of traveling.
Okay.
So we'll take our little film crew around because a lot of these guys aren't as independent as they once were.
Sure.
So.
Oh,
But
that
they're wonderful
cool.
to talk to. Really fun.
Very cool. Mike Chisolm, the Letterman Podcast. Where can people keep up with you?
I'm an old man, and so we have a growing Facebook group, and I love interacting with people on that. This Friday's episode of the Letterman Podcast is our tribute to Arthur Kelly. I have his brother Andre on. Arthur worked for Letterman for 15 years and was famously Coach's Corner, Mike Singletary, but he also ran the reception desk on Dave's floor. for a long time. So it's our tribute episode. Jay's episode is coming out soon. Mark and I are going to record at least one that is going to come out coinciding to his book's release. And I've been going back and forth with a lot of people. Pat Farmer and I went back and forth today, and he's going to be coming on the show finally soon. And I just want to say, Jay, thank you for your friendship. Mark, thank you for you. And I'm so glad to have done this tonight. Thanks, guys.
This was fun.
I'm glad you invited me on yours so I could return the favor and invite you over here.
Yeah.
The timing worked out perfectly.
It did.
This is a hell of a round table we've got going here.
Well, it's an honor for me to be here. I'm really, you guys
I feel the same way.
Are just amazing. And it's so fun to follow everyone's work.
I like that it was like 5, 6, 7 years ago when you saw me on the porch and you said, "Oh, this is so cool. I got to come over." You live blocks from here, literally a few blocks from here.
It took me 6 minutes to get here.
In LA traffic.
Yeah.
And then the show you decide to come for is full late night and the hosts of the shows that you watch already.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Perfect.
It was worth the wait.
Perfect. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to do this.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
A couple more here. No need to read. Had a great time tonight. Thanks all. That's hilarious. I posted it, but Satsing took it down. It came from the licensing site. Got it. Troy France. Oh, thanks for joining us. Mike, I think I sent it to you. Okay. Well, you're right. That was just housekeeping.
I think I do have it.
How about Babes and Classics? Where do we follow you?
At Babes and Classics, y'all, wherever I am. Yeah. Follow me at Babes and Classics. We're still fundraising for the Distinguished Gentleman's Drive for Movember, so head over to at Babes and Classics and help us raise more money, please, until October 12th. So we're in the final stretch.
Final week.
Final week. That's right.
Nice. We've got Gibson Reedy in the house, who is producing some other stuff for us. He's been recording all evening. Thank you for being here. And then Bahama Brian's been here tonight, too, watching the show. Manuel Carrillo could not be here tonight, and he's really not here tonight for once.
Actually.
This, I think, is our last show for a little bit. I am slated to hit the road for the Nicole tribute. All right, how do we do this without getting emotional? The USA Grand Tour number 3, which, as you recall, started because we were doing a bucket list trip with Nicole. I've been doing it every year to tribute her, and I'm supposed to leave on Monday. So we probably won't be here for a number of weeks. Yeah. Call it 6 or 8. In the meantime, though, if you're in town on Saturday, come to Willow Springs Raceway. I'll be there for the big unveiling of the new improved Willow Springs Raceway. I'll be there with the Peterson Museum. Come over to the Peterson garage and say hello. Other than that, a blockbuster year will be back tomorrow, and we're going to do that from the road. Brandon is going to be handling the tech stuff, and I'll just show up with my iPhone or computer or whatever wherever we go. Getting online should be easy. Me finding time to watch movies on the road is going to be tough. Don't know how that's going to work out, but we'll do our best. But in the meantime, we're back tomorrow on a blockbuster year with Day of the Dead, a movie I'm not looking forward to watching. But it'll be great. Some of these, I don't enjoy watching the movie and making the notes, but then talking about it with everybody is a blast because some people love it, some people, maybe sometimes we don't. We all don't like it. It's fun to shit can stuff. And that, I think, is what's going on, right?
Yeah.
We did it. Thank you so much for watching at home. Mark Malkoff, I'm so grateful for your time tonight. Thank you for jumping in.
Oh, this was so much fun. Thank you for inviting me. It's so good seeing all of you.
So much love.
I can't wait to see you either when you're LA or I'm in New York. I'm going to try to make it up there for the 23rd. I've got an event in Florida on the 19th, so it all depends on the timing of me climbing the coast. But I'm dying to see you in person and give you a hug. I'm so proud of you and everything you've accomplished. I know you don't take praise well, so suck it.
I appreciate that.
No, I love you, man. Get Mark Malkoff's new book for sure there, Love Johnny Carson, that's being held up by the Letterman Podcast there. David Steele, I'm just grateful that you came over today. His mom was landing at Burbank Airport, and that's tough these days because they don't have air traffic controllers anymore.
Yeah.
And she, I hope, is watching. I sent,
oh, really?
I sent the link.
Well, then this can explain why you weren't able to pick her up at the airport.
Yeah. It's the first time I've been able to say hi, Mom, to her from the,
Great to meet you, David.
Great to meet you, and keep up the great work, man.
Appreciate it very, very much.
Really fun stuff.
Don, yes.
See Don at Mark's New York City reading. We love everybody at home. Please love one another, and we will see you soon. And out there and wherever else. Good night, everybody.
Good night.